Morning.
Morning. All right.
We're in a great mood, aren't we?
We're in a really good mood this morning.
Yeah, we've got such a lovely show. And I mean, it did feel a bit autumnal this morning.
It did, to be fair. The heating is on in the potting shed,
yes,
I'm not going to lie.
Yes, the aircon's off. But
I have to turn that down.
It is a time to plant all of your autumn bedding, your spring bulbs. We've got some amazing deals, particularly with the spring bulbs, because we've got a mix and match, 3 for 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can buy 3 of the same pack if you want to, but was it 6? No, there's 7 different varieties, and you can actually mix and match all of these. So there's some incredible varieties. You're looking at the Scylla peruviana over there.
No, we nearly bought that last year. We did.
For all the regulars who did take our advice and bought this, thank you very much. Sean and I are going to make sure we get hold of them this year, aren't we? We're going to plant these.
Envious. We really were. All these pictures coming in. So they are coming up. I know there's the Caribbean lily. And this is another one that I've never grown.
No, me too. But look at that. That is so unusual, isn't it?
It really is.
Where are these pictures from, Stu? Oh wow, they are beautiful.
So we've got some traditional bulbs as well. We've got your daffodils and your crocus, but we have got some weird and wonderful ones to tempt you with.
Absolutely.
And it is a 3 for 2, so you can mix and match. So they're coming up soon. Brand new offer code for today, which is YGTV 3724. The free gift. Now we're going to have to be honest.
Yeah. Hot off the press.
It's not here yet.
No. They are arriving today. So the magazine we're showing you is last week's one. You won't get that one. You will get the new one. It is an up-to-date issue. That's the word I'm looking for. So it is a current issue that you will be receiving. As long as you put the offer code in when you place your order, one of these will, well, not this one, the new one, will be entered into your basket.
The new one is arriving today at the YouGarden nursery. And actually, we've heard that our head gardener may be dropping it off later.
I know, right? If it comes in, he's going to pop into the shed.
How does he have time to do that?
Well, he's the head gardener.
Yeah,
he can do what he wants,
He's obviously delegated the other jobs elsewhere. But but don't worry, you will get the latest edition. And this is the UK's best-selling gardening mag, full of hints and tips. A lot of very famous gardeners write for this magazine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So people like Nick Bailey, Carol Klein, just to name a few.
One day, Sean Ryan, presenter and plant man.
Yeah. Bex Edwards.
My garden. Yeah, we could maybe one day.
I'd write for it. I'd love to. Maybe we're not famous enough, but... All the big gardeners do write for that magazine. It's brilliant, so you will love that. Brand new issue will be included in your order today. And we've also got loads of garden-ready
That is a very colourful table over there. Check out those boards. Look at all that colour on there. That is beautiful. And Elaine sent us that picture. Stu, you're going to have to find that if you can. That weird and wonderful. Do you remember the lobelia, Queen Victoria, and the really tall one, the tall picture? I'm sure it was Elaine that sent it. Yeah. If you can find that, Stu, please can we show that later on?
So, great show coming up. There's loads more plants hidden underneath our feet as well that we'll bring up a little bit later. And don't forget, it's a very busy time for planting, for moving things around, for repotting, and we have got our premium professional compost on the screen, $24.98. Club discount price is $22.48. We've got loads of people in the chat already. Bex is going to read out emails. She won't let me near the iPad, but I don't mind.
Not allowed.
I'll just look at you.
Mine.
I have to.
Mine.
I'm only allowed when Bex isn't here. I don't mind.
Elaine, good morning to you. Penny's apparently in the chat as well. Roger is in the chat. I'm assuming they're on Facebook because they're not showing up on the YouTube one. But yes, good morning to you all. We've of course got our email address where you can send your emails. Sean has already been sending emails this morning. There is a great picture coming up. I can't wait to show it to you. Yes. Because he's very happy about his Pampers. And Elaine, Alison, I see your emails as well. We'll show your pictures later on. If you want to email, the email address is ygtv@yougarden.com. We'll show you pictures, so send them in.
We really will. And the actual real reason why Bex reads out the emails and I read the details on the screen is because my distance vision is really good. So I can read everything on the screen in front of me. Bex can't.
Everything's a bit of a blur to me.
Close up is a bit blurry, but not with you. No. So together...
We're a great team.
Yeah, amazing. Right, let's start off with our mix and match, though.
Yeah.
The most stunning bulbs. And it really is worth spending a bit of time right now planting bulbs. We both did it last year. And the rewards you get in springtime are incredible.
Absolutely. And now is the time to do it. Any time between sort of September and November, well, even a bit later, actually. But yeah, this is the time to start planning and planting.
Although I did plant some in February last year, and they were pretty rubbish. So, first of all, this is the Daffodil Narcissus Mix Collection. 25 bulbs, lovely varieties, lots of different yellows, lots of different trumpet centres. And these are the big ones. These are the full-size ones. They're going to flower round about Mother's Day. And the bulbs, look at these. They're really good.
They are very, very good quality bulbs. They're big, they're firm, there's nothing squishy about them at all, and they're so easy to plant. And the great thing about daffodils is that these are going to last for years. I mean, there are well-known clumps of daffodils that have flowered for decades, even over 100 years. So these are long-lasting, and they will multiply in your gardens.
Well, I come from York, and the bar walls that surround the city centre are covered in daffodils, and they, I mean, God, they must have been there
a long time.
What seems forever, and they've just naturalised, they've spread. So that's what these are going to do, and you are going to get 25 glorious bulbs, and as Bex said, really good size, really great quality, but you can mix and match. So you might be thinking, because there's 7 to choose from, ooh, fancy the Dutch iris.
I do love Dutch iris, actually, because they've got these gorgeous formations to the flowers, and of course with this mix you do get those different colours included as well. The purple and the yellow, that is a marriage made in heaven. They are opposite each other pretty much on the colour wheel, which is why they work so beautifully together. But you've also got those whites in there as well, which I just think it's a really careful blend of colours included in there.
Amazing.
So even if you were to just plant a group of these together on their own, they're going to look brilliant. But if you plant them with maybe your daffodils, you've got that extra yellow pop going on in there as well.
I'm just looking, I just see exotic birds when I look at irises.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. I always think of Alice in Wonderland, because you know when she's walking through the flowers and they're talking to her, there's an old lady voice, and I'm sure it's an iris that's talking to her. It transports me to my childhood, that.
And I do think irises, I mean, you get 100 bulbs, but I think they look really good in clumps. They don't look good individually. Well, they look fine, but they look far better in clumps. So 100 bulbs works out 10 pence a bulb. If you're in the club, it works out 9 pence a bulb. Now, I'm very interested in the crocus, because these are the big ones. These are the large flowered crocus.
The large flowered yellow crocus. You get these beautiful sort of goblet, cup-shaped flowers from these. And crocus are one of the earliest flowering of the spring bulbs. So this is why I love the spring bulbs, because when you plant them, you are planting a promise, aren't you? There is the embryo of the flower in there. And when these start to pop up through the ground, being one of the earliest, it's definitely a joyful moment, because, you know, just fast forward a few months when we're sick and tired of the dark and the cold, these popping up through the ground do tell you that those lighter, warmer days are very close. They're hot on the heels.
And normally it's the first kind of splash of colour when it comes to bulbs. You've got your snowdrops in January, they look beautiful, they're crisp, they're white, but when the yellows just burst through that frozen ground, all through the grass, a lot of people plant crocuses in the lawns for natural look, they look absolutely amazing. One thing I'm going to say, just from last year, because it was really wet in February last year, a lot of my crocus just went mushy. So this year I'm going to plant them in slightly more sheltered areas, because they do great in slightly shady areas, like under trees, under shrubs.
Yeah, they're perfect.
Because mine did go a bit, I mean, it might be really dry February, who knows, but
we never know on our weather, do we?
But I'm definitely going to plant some underneath my eucalyptus tree this year. 600-084. Remember, any of these, there are 7 to choose, so we can mix and match. You get 3 for the price of 2. So I'm laughing. I've just seen the ridiculous picture that I've sent
I can't
Bex.
wait to show you. I cannot wait.
Right. We're going to move on to the fritillaria.
Yeah.
These, I've never grown these, and I don't know why.
No, I haven't either, but they're weird and wonderful.
They are.
And that's what I quite like about these. So obviously you've got your staples of your daffodils, your crocus, even your iris, but these are just something that little bit different. You have these lovely sort of nodding flowers on here, and they're also known as the snake's head, because they've got this mottled sort of spotty pattern on the side.
It's like a snake skin.
Exactly, yeah. And I just love the way they nod like that, a bit like your snowdrops do. It's just got that lovely, elegant touch to it. Beautiful mix of colours included in there. Beautiful bell-shaped flowers, and these are also ones that are happy in that sort of shaded woodland spot. So where you would plant your crocus, you could plant these as well. Your crocus will come first, but the fritillaria will be hot on the heels.
I mean, one of my friends has got a faux, it's a faux snakeskin handbag, and it looks just like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can see where it gets its name from,
You can't.
you?
It really looks like a proper snakeskin.
It does have the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit, by the way, so these are proven performers.
Yes, I forgot that. Yes.
Absolutely great for you to plant in your gardens. You know, they've trialled and tested them. These are garden worthy.
Because it is, you maybe look at them and think, oh, they're going to be hard work, because they do look rather exotic, but you're right, they're not at all.
No, not at all.
So again, you get 30 of the fritillaria there. The snake's head as I know it, 30 bulbs for £9.99. Now we are going to, this is the one that we are both going for today. If you're a regular on YGTV, we both said, we're going to order that.
And we just didn't get round to it, did we?
And then
I think
maybe it's sold out, I can't remember.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
By the time we started to think about getting it, they had actually gone. You'd already bought them all, so we were just too late.
We sort of forgot about it, bought some of the things, and then suddenly, in the springtime, you all started sending your pictures in, and we were like...
So jealous. I think that's the thing we've been the most jealous of, isn't it?
We both looked at each other, didn't we?
Like, why didn't we do that?
All our regulars are sending these glorious pictures. We're like, why don't we have those in our garden?
Look at it. That's the picture, isn't it? And that is... And you guys have sent us your pictures, so we know that's exactly what they look like when they start to come into bloom. And you get those beautiful sort of rosettes of flowers there. And they sort of open in succession, don't they? They start at the outer edges and move inwards. So it's really interesting.
And on our website, we describe this as a cross almost between an allium and a hyacinth, and I completely get that.
Yeah.
But I think they're so much more exotic than either of those bulbs, aren't they?
Totally. And they were, from what you were telling us, these are super easy. We got loads of pictures. The one that comes to mind is Neil's picture that he sent in, where he'd got them in the containers hung on the side of like the fence and something. Yeah. And just when they were coming through, they really did highlight the blue colour.
We are, in fact, we are really silly, Bex, because we haven't pre-ordered those. And
no,
we should have put our orders
done that, shouldn't we?
But if you've never grown them before, absolutely stunning. Go to about 30 centimetres?
Yeah, about 30 centimetres by 30 centimetres.
So that was bigger than I thought, you know.
Yeah, I was quite impressed with the size that these did grow to. They are perennial, so they will come back for you. So, you know, just always the trick is with your bulbs, allow the flowers and the foliage to die back down naturally, let the goodness go back into the bulb, and it will come back for you in the following years.
And pretty much, well, yeah, all of the bulbs, they do want well-drained soil. Last year it was very wet, and if you put bulbs in containers without good drainage, I think some rotting definitely took place, didn't it?
Definitely. So, I mean, the ones in my containers did fine because they were all in the premium professional compost. Unfortunately, the ones that I planted in my clay soil, I didn't get as many as I should have.
Yeah, but also, Bex, all of yours were in YouGarden pots and containers, which have really good drainage.
Very good.
We have loads of holes in our, proper drainage in our pots. Sometimes you go to a garden centre, you buy a pot and it's got one measly hole in the bottom. So if you have got some pots like that, either get your drill out, put some more holes in there, or put some grit or gravel in the bottom just to help with drainage. Because if it's another wet winter, you've got to make sure your bulbs don't rot.
Yeah.
And so when you've got a heavy clay soil like Bex, you've got to be a bit extra careful.
I definitely suffered with a lot that I planted in the ground.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
I mean, I've got plenty coming through, but just I know how many bulbs I planted, and there weren't that many that came up.
So do bear that in mind. You can even mix a bit of grit in your soil as well if you want to. Right, Muscari. Now I love the Muscari, but these are white.
Yeah, the album.
Yes.
So, if you've got the grape hyacinth, the purple variety, definitely consider getting some of these, because we know that purple and white colour combination is a great colour combo, isn't it?
I don't know about you, but I don't think you see the white as often.
No.
You really don't?
No, you're absolutely right. You do not see those.
Don't.
So this is a great one. I mean, all white like that display is gorgeous, but I do think if you can mix those in with some of those purple ones you've already got, that purple and white coming through together will look incredible.
See, I'm planning my spring garden there, yeah. Isn't it great? It's like, ooh.
Now, these are brilliant at naturalising, so these are quite vigorous at naturalising, and that's great. I love them because they do spread and create a gorgeous carpet of colour, but they're not frustrating in the fact that sometimes, the foliage can start looking a bit messy on certain plants, and it takes a while for it to disappear. These do seem to tidy up after themselves very quickly.
I totally
you don't
agree.
Notice them sort of, once they fade, they will tidy up very quickly.
Yeah, because you're right. I was taught to be a very neat gardener by my mum, and that's a problem, actually. I'm trying to be a bit more fluid.
Yeah, like tulips, It takes ages for that foliage to
They do, and sometimes you're looking thinking, oh, my word, how long have I got to wait for my beds and borders to look neat again? So these are a gorgeous Muscari, known as the grape hyacinths, like the mini ones there, and as Bex rightly said, these are stunning in kind of woodland areas, under trees and shrubs and things like that, and they spread really quickly over the many years you'll have them. So, yeah, I definitely want those today, because I've got the purple ones, but not the white.
Yep.
And then, what about these?
Gladiolus, the Byzantinus ones, and these are really beautiful. I mean, I love gladiolus. Stu's saying he doesn't understand it. What don't you understand, Stu?
I've just realised I can't hear Stu.
Gladioli are summer flowering. Yeah, absolutely. And these are sort of... they're slightly later spring flowering, so they will sort of creep into summer.
Yeah.
But around May, these should start coming up, and they could then trickle into June as well. So yes, we are selling them as spring flowering, but they're later spring flowering. So this is great if you're looking for that successional flowering, and that is the key, isn't it? To getting 365 days of colour. Make sure that you've got things that are going to come out of the ground at various different times so that you can maximise the colour in your garden.
I just really like the colour on those, don't you?
Beautiful colour, really reliable cottage garden feel, perennial flower. Leave it to naturalise. It'll probably reach about maybe 60 centimetres in height, so nice and tall. They shouldn't need staking. Obviously, if you're planting them in exposed areas, you might need to consider that, but they really shouldn't need staking. But they will add that little bit of height and a very dramatic colour.
I feel really excited. So do not forget
at home. It's a great selection.
It's a really good selection. Some classics, but some little unusual ones as well. So don't forget, it's mix and match any of those, and you're going to get 3 for the price of 2. So let's remind you what we've just seen. So the gladiolus, which are absolutely stunning. I don't know. I'm trying to describe the colour of those, but it is like a crimson, isn't it? Sort of.
Would you go magenta? Maybe. I don't know.
You let us know.
Elaine, you're good at the colours. Let's go for it.
Cerise?
Could be cerise. I like cerise. That's a good one.
602 for 1. Then we saw the Mascari album, which are the white ones. A little bit more unusual. We're very familiar with the purple ones, the grape hyacinths, so there's 601.15. Then we brought you the Caribbean lily, which I am definitely ordering today. So this is the Scilla peruviana, or the Caribbean lily as I know it, and that is 630045. Absolutely amazing, exotic, wonderful. Then the Fritillaria, the snake's head. Another slightly unusual one, RHS Award of Garden Merit, so it's not as difficult to grow as it looks. It's actually very, very easy, and again, it will tolerate a slightly shady position as well, 601.33. Then crocus, you know, if you want the first splash of colour in your garden, it does not get better than this. So just as the snowdrops are dying down, the crocus will show their beautiful yellow heads, but these are big, large flowered crocus, so they're a lot bigger than some of the traditional varieties out there, and they're 600.084. Then we had the Dutch Iris. Now you get an amazing 100 of these, which is incredible. Works like £10 a bulb, 600.212, and they're going to look fantastic in clumps in the garden. And then finally, no spring garden would be complete without the Narcissus mixed collection. And look at all of the gorgeous flower heads. You know, loads of these are doubles. Lots of them have got different colour combinations, so oranges and yellows and creams and everything in between. These are the full-size ones, so they're not the tete-a-tetes, they're not the miniatures, and you get 25 glorious bulbs, lots of different varieties for just £9.99 at 601.80. But September is a brilliant time, don't forget, to plant your perennials. It gives them all of the autumn, the winter, the spring to really settle in. I think one of the worst things you can do sometimes is buy a perennial and try and plant it in your garden in the middle of July and August when it's red hot, because they're going to struggle. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, autumn time is a really important time in the gardening calendar, because yes, you're planting some things that you're not going to get the benefit of until next year, but as Shaun said, it's really important to do it now, so it's got all of that time to establish, form a really strong root structure, and then next year when that growth season starts, it can concentrate on going upwards. It doesn't have to think about doing 2 directions at once. It's already got that nice strong root structure, so it can just concentrate on giving you great flowers.
And the great thing is, I mean, I've tried to plant perennials in the middle of November sometimes, or even December, because you know, sometimes you just do, but it's hard work. It's too cold and the ground's hard. The ground is soft, it's warm, it's easy to work with right now, so it's a brilliant time. And these are the Echinacea, and the orange colour that you've got on these are magnificent.
Yeah, and these...
I would love these.
These really are in their element right now. I mean, look, on these 9-centimetre pots, these are, you know, beautiful flowers. And this is a great thing about Echinacea. So it normally starts flowering in the height of summer, so you'll start seeing these coming up in around sort of July-ish, but they last and they keep going right the way through into the September months. You're looking around your gardens right now, aren't you? Lots of things are fading. Lots lots of that summer colour that we had, it is starting to fade away. But there's a few things you can plant to extend that colour, to extend that summer season. Echinacea is one of them. Rudbeckia, we've got that coming up in a little while. That's another one. But this is one you definitely need in your garden if you just want to get a bit of extra colour once all the summer stuff is fading.
Now, we should say you've got an amazing saving. So they're nearly £30 worth of value. You've got them at £10.99, £9.89 if you're a club member. One thing we will say is they may arrive in flower, but at this time of year, some of our perennials will be chopped back. So do not be disappointed if when it arrives, it's been chopped back. That will actually probably do the plant more good than actually arriving in flower. Because as Bex said, all the energy will go into really establishing for next year. So please don't think, oh, where's my flowers if they arrive without flowers? It will really help the plant for next year. And that is 560895, of course. I do love that colour, though.
It's a beautiful colour, yeah, absolutely. Even on a dark day, that colour is going to delight you, isn't it?
Yeah. That's almost the colour of my beard on a good day, Bex.
They work great as cut flowers as well, by the way. If you do like your cut flower displays, because you'll get loads of flowers from them. So you can leave them out and flowering, you know, in your gardens, but actually you can use them as cut flowers.
Yeah. Now we have got a very special perennial lobelia now called Queen Victoria, and oh my word, when you see this in flower. Sorry, I've just seen the price. Sorry, Stu just said, Shaun, have you seen the price?
Don't even think about this. Get this one in your basket. It's $6.99 for all three. He's off. He's taken them.
Seriously, I'm going to get them in my basket.
$6.99 for all three of those. £2.33 each. That is an amazing price. Really, it is.
I don't know why, but my brain and eyes read this at $9.99, but it's $6.99. So. Yeah, absolutely, going to get these today. But we had some pictures sent in recently of these in flower, and I mean, we say they grow height-wise 60 centimetres, 70,
maybe
80.
Maybe up to 3 feet, somewhere between 2 and 3 feet.
We've seen them even bigger, haven't we?
Honestly, Elaine sent us an amazing picture of just this really, I mean, it was a freak one, I think, but it was massive, wasn't it? These are stunning, though, and this is another one of those late flowering ones. So along with your Echinacea, along with your Rudbeckia, Lobelia is a fantastic one. Of course, it's that lovely, hot, fiery red colour, which is brilliant at drawing the eye. It's a definite, you know, that red will draw the attention, but it's the combination, isn't it, of that bright scarlet red against the dark foliage.
Now, we do say these are hardy to about -5, so they may need a little bit of protection depending on where you plant them, depending on where you live. And something, I've just been honest, that you need to look out for are slugs on these. The slugs do sometimes quite like them.
It's the new growth, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, once they're in and they've started growing, the slugs and snails should be fine, but it's when that new growth comes through. So Strulch is a fantastic thing. It'll do both things. When the new growth comes through, obviously it'll help to protect it from the slugs and snails, but also in the winter, it'll give it that extra protection it might need.
But they are one of the most stunning, breathtaking, striking perennials. I'm definitely going to be ordering these today. That price, $6.29. That is £2.10 a plant, Bex.
No, in the club. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to give you a suggestion here, and you might think it's weird, but I saw a picture of this. You know, you've got your pampas grasses.
Yeah.
I saw a picture, a display. I haven't got it, but I saw it in somebody else's garden. They've got pampas grasses, and they put Lobelia Queen Victoria around the edge of the pampas grass, and it looked absolutely amazing.
I like that idea.
The kind of greens and the sort of sandy colours of the pampas grass, and then the lobelia in front of it. It looks incredible.
And the lobelia would be shorter than the pampas.
Yeah. Honestly, it was a really gorgeous display.
I like that.
Initially, when I thought that doesn't work, but seeing it, it really does.
And we have got pampas grass coming up, by the way, a little bit later on. That is the best. It's not the deal of the week, is it? It must be.
I mean, it should be at that price. It should be.
Right, we're going to call it Deal of the Year, okay? We're just going to make it up. But that is absolutely amazing. And honestly, we've had some incredible feedback for the Lobelia Speciosa. People that bought it earlier on in the season have sent in pictures. It is one of the most dramatic, gorgeous perennials you could ever imagine. At that price, fantastic. And don't worry, again, these will have been chopped back right now. They'll settle in this year. They will flower next summer. So late summer, you're going to get these absolutely amazing displays.
Yeah, they are incredible. And they're just, it's the dark foliage, the bright red flower. And we always talk about the dark foliage on plants, don't we? You know, having these dotted around in your garden really do make a big difference.
And some really nice high height with these.
Yeah,
so
they've got the RHS AGM as well. They've got the Award of Garden Merit. So even though they might need a bit of winter protection, they're still 100% garden worthy. You know, get these ones in your garden, particularly at that price.
This is the thing about YGTV. You get the most amazing deals and massive savings. They should be about £10 each. It's working out £2.30 if you're not a club member. If you are a club member, £6.29. Talking of which, by the way, if you want to join our discount club today, join one of the 45,000 members. That was my last count. You can join straight away. You get a little reminder as you check out, and you can save 10% on your whole order today. But every time you shop with us, you'll save 10% on all of your compost pots, bulbs, plants, trees, pretty much everything. And you'll also get £20 worth of vouchers that you can use straight away, basically, when they arrive. So,
yeah, as soon as the pack arrives, you can start saving 10% today on your first order. So that's brilliant. And then your pack arrives and you'll get those £20 vouchers. And you can use all of those in one day as well. I know they've got dates on them that say one every 3 months. Ignore that. Ignore it. You can use all 4 in one day. You just have to use them on separate orders.
Yeah. That's very naughty.
I know, but
you can.
The head gardener said it, so I'm allowed to.
Yeah,
that's what I reckon.
That's the rule here. If the head gardener says it, we can say it too.
We're allowed to say it.
We're the deputy head gardeners, don't forget. Loads of on the group chat.
Yeah, there are actually. So we've got some emails to show in a little while. But yes, good morning to Elaine, to
morning,
Alistair, to East Coast Tropical Gardens, Nathan, to Neil. I think that's it in the chat at the moment, but everybody's just chatting away in there. Angela's on Facebook as well. She says she's bought 24 of the fritillaria from somewhere else and they were twice the price. Well, that tells you.
What do we say, Angela?
Angela, what are you doing?
No, occasionally we shop elsewhere, and you normally live to regret it, don't you? Like, it's normally when we haven't got something particularly in stock, but yeah, YGTV do amazing deals, you know.
We really do.
We're going to move on to our red hot pokers next. Now, I've got my own these as well, because in my last garden I had the full-size ones and I really liked them. But these are like the little miniature ones.
Yeah, so these are only going to get to probably about, 50 centimetres in height. And you are going to get all of these. Again, it's those hot colour combinations. They work brilliantly, the reds, the yellows, the oranges. And these are what you're going to plant if you want to create a focal point. Those hot colours draw the attention. If you're looking at garden design, you've said this before, haven't you, Shaun? If you've got a long garden, if you put those hot colours at the end, it tricks the eye and brings it forward. If you want to extend, if you've got a smaller garden, you would use the cooler colour range because, again, it tricks the eye and makes it look, further away. But these hot colours are definitely focal points. They're dramatic, and they are those late flowering ones. They will start sort of in the height of summer, June, July time, but they keep going for you through to sort of September and October. Fully hardy perennial and drought tolerant, so it ticks a lot of boxes.
And I would say a little bit neater than the full-size red hot pokers. I mean, I've got the full-size ones, and the leaves can get a little bit messy.
A bit tatty.
Yeah. But these are just miniature versions, and I love the names of them. So you've got the papaya, the orange, and the mango. So these are really kind of like hot tropical colours, and they are going to give you that absolute wonderful burst of colour in your garden. But they're not going to go too. I mean, a lot of gardens are smaller nowadays, and say full-size red hot poker, it needs room. But these are the miniature varieties, only going to about 50, 60 centimetres and flying, say, mid to late summer. Some of them may have a few flowers on them, but the likelihood is they might have been chopped back. This is a good time to plant them and to get them established.
Let's have a look at the roots, shall we? Oh, God, I don't even need to take it out of the pot, look.
Good to see your roots are looking good today, Bex, as well.
I sprayed them. Yeah. Look, that one is definitely raring to get into your garden. You can see the sort of root structure that we've got going on
my
there.
word, this one is too, Bex.
You'll have to tease that one out. You might have to chop a few of the roots off. Don't worry too much about having to chop those off. They will soon recover. But get those in. Oh, apparently we're getting questions on the bark, and do we still have the deal on it?
Yes.
Apparently, yes, we do. Yeah, you're going to have to tease that out a little bit.
I'll be honest, I might get a pair of scissors at that point. Yeah, because they are really rooty. And as Bex says, you really do need to just tease those out. If you ever buy a plant and the roots are just spiraling around like that, you do need to tease them out gently. Otherwise, when you actually plant it in the ground, the roots will continue to go around like that. So I'd get the scissors out on those. But they're really well established. That's the point.
Very well established.
Here we go.
If you want the bark, it's not going to come to you in a tray like this. It will come to you in a 70-litre bag. But we've just taken some out of the bag so you can see the sort of texture of it. It is, I mean, it's beautiful texture, isn't it? But what this is going to do is give your plants the kind of little duvet that they might need to keep them warm over winter. But of course, mulch has a few different benefits. It's going to suppress weeds come the spring and summertime next year, neatens up the borders beautifully like that, and a 70-litre bag is going to cover a large area, isn't it?
No, I've got an area in my garden that is really hard work, and it's where I've got a big tree, and I am honestly thinking of just putting that bark mulch all the way underneath, and then maybe having pots stood on it with plants.
I like it. It's a great idea, and it also means you can walk between it, and not get mud stuck to your feet. You can walk through it really easily.
What I would say, if you are using it as a weed suppressant, I would probably put down weed matting first of all. But for anyone that's trying to make the garden a little bit more low maintenance, sometimes as you get older, it's all a bit daunting. Don't look at me like that, Bex. I was thinking of my mum.
Of course, yes.
I'm very lucky. I don't have touch wood, I do not have a single ache or pain in my joints. I'm really lucky. I'm saying very, very lucky for my age of 37. But if you're trying to make an area a bit more low maintenance, so you're sick of weeding it, you're sick of having to look after it, maintain it, bark mulch really does help you so much, but it looks really attractive as well. It
does. It looks really neat and tidy, and of course gives those plants that duvet that they need.
Now we are at that time of year. We're into September now, and it's time to really crack on with your autumn bedding. And I've learned from my own experience, if you leave it too late to plant, say if you leave it till November, December, you can plant autumn bedding, or winter bedding I should say, in those months, but there's not enough light and warmth around for it to really take off, so now is the time. Yeah,
now's the time to ensure that you get those displays, and with this one, the polyanthus. Now you can see there's a few flowers starting to appear on there, but typically it really gets going sort of end of October and into November time. But this will then keep flowering for you through to sort of early springtime, March and April time. But as Shaun said, if you wait too long to get it in the ground, it's just not going to quite take off. Doing it now ensures that you'll have those beautiful colours. And the rosettes, those lovely clusters of rosettes of flowers that you get here, they really are beautiful. And I love the foliage. It looks like cabbage, doesn't it? It's a lovely sort of dark green, cabbagey foliage there that really highlights those beautiful flowers. And it is prolific flowering displays every year if you get these in the ground early.
Just a few little tips. They don't like being waterlogged, so make sure they're not waterlogged. Make sure the crown's not sitting in water, because that again could cause rotting. But generally speaking, they pretty much grow everywhere in the garden. So partly shady areas, sunny spots. Just keep deadheading as well. And then what will happen? They will form clumps. And what I do now, that spring or autumn time, sometimes I dig up the whole clump and literally rip it apart into separate plants. Yeah, you can obviously actually cut through, but I tend to just not gently rip them apart. But they do form big clumps that you can divide and then spread around the garden. But winter colour made really easy with the polyanthus. 20 garden ready plants. And when we say garden ready, we do lots of different size plants.
That's a good point, yeah.
But we do like the pro plugs, which are the smallest ones. We've got those on the show a little bit later.
So they come in these. Don't get rid of these. Keep these, because these are great for potting on. If you're growing any of the pro plugs or even seeds and things, you can use those. You know this already, don't you? But this is a garden ready plant here. Yeah. Garden ready, really strong root structure, been grown on by our specialist growers, ready for them to go in your garden. It just means they're ready. You don't have to grow them on a windowsill or in your greenhouse. You can plant these out with confidence.
And fully winter hardy as well.
Totally.
So even if it's like -20, which hopefully it won't be.
Oh, fingers crossed.
But brand new and garden ready. So those are the spring fever. And then we have got the primulas next.
Yeah, the primula primlet.
I think these are really gorgeous.
Aren't they pretty colours? These are very jewel-like colours that we've got here. Masses of flowers. It's kind of the rosebud primrose. So they look just like those sort of mini roses. You know the standard rose bushes that we do here? Those flowers that you get on here look like those mini roses.
I was just thinking, for that price, bear in mind these are doubles, £12.99 is incredible. Because I know my local garden centre, they sell these type of varieties in individual 9cm pots for about £3.50.
Yeah.
It's because they are the doubles. They really are so much, I think, so much more attractive.
They are. They're very vibrant colour mixes, aren't they? They're incredibly hardy. They're nice and compact, sort of low growing, reach about 30 by 30 centimetres. And these are sort of later flowering. So these are going to come into their own again, sort of November, December time, but they'll keep going right the way through, you know, late winter and into springtime as well. You can grow them in pots, you can grow them in beds and borders. You could probably even put these on your windowsills indoors. It's a proper all-rounder.
And again, they are fully winter hardy. They just die back a bit in the summertime, so they become a bit more invisible. But it is a pack of 20 for just £12.99. If you're one of our 45,000 club members, £11.69. That is really good, isn't it?
It's so good.
Yeah.
And again, just like the other ones that we showed you, absolutely garden ready, really strong roots on there. Look. Nice and strong, white fibrous roots. We know that means these are super healthy, raring to grow. Just get those planted out now.
And when any of our plug plants arrive, just give them a really good water because they'll have been in transit a couple of days. All of the packaging is 100% recyclable as well. What did Stu just say? Stu
just said, because he put out the video of you. Do you remember doing that little video when you were talking through the various sizes of plug plants that we do at YouGarden?
Yes.
So it's been remade. It's been put out on Facebook and Instagram this week. So if you want to know about the different sizes of plug plants and what they mean, if you go onto Facebook and Instagram, you'll be able to see that video of Shaun where he's talking through it.
I saw that pop up actually, but I was bored of seeing me, so
you just moved on.
Hopefully you're not bored of either of us.
It's a very handy little guide actually, because obviously we do we just do various sizes of plug plants, and it does explain what those are. But a few tips of
and we should say, Bex and I and the rest of the team, we are constantly working with Stu, putting online content just to help you with your gardening, and they are fun. A lot of them are fun.
Yeah, we have a great time making them.
They're great. So do follow us on Instagram and of course Facebook. You see lots of little videos pop up, and loads of advice, loads of like hints and tips, but also a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. What else have we got in terms of garden ready, you're asking? There's loads more on our show today. So these are the Irrigaran Sea of Blossom Mexican Fleabane. Lots of different names for this, but it's such a winner because this is great ground cover. When they're like little daisies. So I'm going to be frank, as an individual flower, they're probably not the most exotic, but what makes them special is the abundance of flowers that you get and the fact that they change colour as they age. So you've got a combination of whites and light pinks and dark pinks. And do you know what? These flower for 7 months of the year. So they start kind of April, May, and they'll flower into October. I've even had flowers in November. And they really do well in the poorest of conditions. I have seen these growing out of steps, like stone steps. I've seen them growing out of walls. So great for gravelled areas, great for poor soils. Just give them a sunny spot, well-drained soil, and they will absolutely thrive. And at the end of the season, just cut them right back. It can be quite harsh, cut them right back, and they'll bounce back in the springtime. One of my absolute favourites, I've got a whole area in my garden covered with the Irrigaran Sea of Blossom, the Mexican Fleabane. Then we've got Pansy Cool Wave now. Out of all the pansies that YouGarden bring you, I think the Cool Wave are the best performers. The breeding programme that these went through was absolutely incredible. So these pansies will flower, we say, 10 months of the year. Again, if you check the YouGarden website and it shows you the flowering season, it's 10 months of the year. The only 2 months they're not supposed to fly is July and August. Mine actually did. Mine kept flying this year because it was not particularly good summer. So we class them as, most people think of them as an annual, but they're actually a perennial. So if you want to keep them going for many, many years, just cut them back in the height of summer, put them in a shady corner, give them a good feed, and they will keep flowering. But these gently cascade, so they will cascade to about 30 centimetres or so. They kind of tumble over pots and containers. They give you the most amazing, beautiful colour palette of yellows and purples and mauves and creams, but they are so, in terms of flowering, they are just so powerful, and they just keep going and going and going. And that is a 409.67, and it's a buy one get one free. Honestly, they are the most amazing breed of pansy, and you should definitely have those in your pots and your hanging baskets. Right, it is going crazy, by the way, for that lobelia. I'm not surprised, I'll tell you. And the 3 for 2 offers as well. But if you have just joined us, good morning. Welcome to YouGarden TV with myself, Shaun Ryan, the wonderful Bex Edwards. Stu's in the master control room. He's over there. He's bought a new coffee machine as well, which is brilliant.
Oh my word! I think that's why we're buzzing this morning, because we had a little coffee and it was
like this, aren't we? Yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
That wasn't like an instant coffee, was it?
So we've got everything. And what is so lovely, for those of you that are new to the show, we broadcast live from the YouGarden nursery. We are in a little place called Gedney in Lincolnshire. People often ask us, is the nursery open to the public? No, it's a commercial working nursery. We've got 11 acres here. We have got other sites as well. We grow so much here ourselves, but everything is looked after so meticulously. And we really pride ourselves on our great delivery, great customer service as well. So if you ever have a problem, please don't sit at home and be disgruntled. Give us a call, get in touch with the team, and they will do their very best to put it right. And any plant that you order that has got the little symbol that says winter hardy, it's like a little snowflake, you get a lifetime guarantee. We will replace any plant that dies that's got a lifetime guarantee. We will replace it free. All you pay is the postage. But what Bex and I love about this live show is the interaction, don't we? Yeah,
totally. We love it when you send us your pictures, when you ask us questions, and you can do that very easily. I've got the iPad, I'm ready to receive them. ygtv@yougarden.com is the email address. So if you want to show off your gardens, please send us your pictures. Yeah. We love looking at your gardens. We're nosy. But it's the same with all gardeners. We like to take hints and tips and, inspiration from other people's gardens. Yeah. So send them through, please. I've got some.
Oh, go on.
I've got Dave Harris just sent this picture.
Morning.
His amaryllis is in flower, and it is beautiful.
Right, hang on. Right. That is not an amaryllis that does not flower now.
Well, apparently it's in flower.
It must be. I wonder if it's one of the outdoor ones then.
Maybe.
Because it is outside. I mean, normally, I'm not being funny. It's a bulb that you grow at Christmas time.
He said,
there is an outdoor
just
version.
took this picture. Amaryllis is in flower.
No, do you remember there is an outdoor version?
There is, isn't there?
Yeah, so that must be that one.
Keith has sent his pictures in the morning. Bex and Shaun, just a couple of pics. One which has new obelisks put in to support the hollyhocks next year. Cheers, Dingo. Oh, yes, look. He's put his little obelisks in, ready to support them.
Oh, cute.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it?
What a stunning riot of colour that is.
Oh.
Isn't it? So many different shades of green.
That is a gorgeous sight. Lovely. Yeah, we want to come and see the turtle sanctuary.
Invite us.
Oh, look at this. Lovely little pathway just going around the edge there. All those prisma pots, those have come from us here. Yeah, Stu's just saying people must stop and look at your front garden. And yes, absolutely. I think these are all oleanders in there, aren't they? Look. Those are all oleanders there.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in flower right now, but it is getting in September now. I know it's not particularly warm at the moment. All of the lilies there as well, stunning.
Those are the
plants. Lilies.
Yeah, plants. They're plants. No, they're what they call those tropical ones that we did. Oh God.
The
colours. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Shaun.
I've got them.
I was looking for the word colour in my head. That was the one I was trying. Anyway,
you weren't listening to me.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'll
be honest, mine have been a bit disappointing this year, but I know why. It's a long story, but they were shoved in the garage for 6 months and forgotten about.
Oh.
But they still did manage to flower, but not as well. I mean, how they survived, I don't know. Right.
Can I just show... Sorry, can I just show one more, Stu? I just want to show Elaine's hibiscus, because look at that. Oh, my word. Beautiful big flower there, look. But look at all the buds that are on there. And this is the great thing about these, isn't it? It's because they just keep going right the way through. Yeah, Stu's just saying, look at all the colour at the back there.
I think it has been a great year for hibiscus, and I don't know why, but every one that I've got and I've seen seems to be doing absolutely amazing. And that Roseanne is still throwing out those flowers in the background. Right, really quickly, the star of the show. We're not going to call this a deal of the week. We're going to call this Deal of the Year, because we are. That's the new title today. We've decided.
Yeah, we're on it.
Deal of the Year. Lobelia Speciosa, the Queen Victoria, Hardy Perennial down to -5. All three of these £6.29 for club members, £6.99 if you're not. But they are absolutely flying. However, the postage is £6.99. Now, what we're going to say is, and that is per order. So we always say it's not per item, it's per order. So it's £6.99 per order. However, if you want to get free delivery, just spend over £40 with us and we will deliver your entire order for free. But you need to use the code, which is Bex.
YGTV 3724. There's a little box when you place your order and it'll say, do you have an offer code? That's the code that you put in. So you'll get all of the deals, but you'll also get the free gift, which is the Garden News magazine.
Yeah.
A current version.
And if you've already received your order from last week, let us know what you thought about the free magazine. But you're going to get the next issue today. You really are. Right, Millie has got a question.
Yeah, I saw this. So Millie says, my agapanthus has stopped flowering. Now can I cut the stem down? You can, but you can also leave it as well. They actually create nice interest over the winter, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I normally chop them off,
Sean's
I'll be honest.
a neat gardener, you see. Sean's a very neat gardener.
Yeah, so I do normally chop mine off.
Do you know what? I used to do the same thing. I always used to say I'm putting my garden to bed, and I used to go around and tidy everything and trim it and chop it and all the rest of it. So you absolutely can, and Sean does with his. I mean, don't listen to me on agapanthus advice, because as we all know,
that's true.
I can't get my agapanthus to flower. But I do know that you can leave them on the plant as well, you know, and it does create interest over the autumn and winter, and then you can trim it down sort of early springtime next year. So it's entirely up to you, to be honest with you, what you want to do with that. You can do either.
But yeah, so I'm smiling because I chopped mine back the other day. I was like, you're going.
Trim them all down. Yeah, sometimes it just...
And I suppose I was thinking I didn't want it to waste energy into seeds and into making seeds, so I just chopped it down.
Absolutely. So it's up to you. You can do.
But yeah, I am a bit of a neat gardener, and it is a problem. I need help.
No, you don't. You're fine.
No, I honestly don't.
You've got a beautiful garden.
My mum was such a neat gardener, and I've kind of inherited that, but actually I think it's a bit healthier to let a few things be a bit more natural.
I think there's an argument for leaving them, because actually leaving some of the old growth on there protects the plant. It also gives a haven and a home for insects and bugs and things during the winter months. So you know, there's an argument for leaving certain things on. Certain
plants, if you leave them to form seeds, you get loads of free plants, which I did with my Verbena bonariensis. Got loads of free plants. Things like, to be fair, things like my foxgloves I've left this year because I'm hoping, because they self-seed.
Yeah.
So, but there are some rules in gardening, but there's always that kind of like, I do it my way, you do it your way, isn't there? Right, what else have we got coming up?
Oh, this one's a great one. Cottage Garden collection here. So it's a 12 plug plant collection, and this is how they're going to come to you in our little mini greenhouses. What you can see here is a representation of what you might receive in there. We can't guarantee exactly, but this is a really good representation of what you might receive. But it is a buy one, get one free. So as long as you use the code YGTV3724, you'll get a 12-pack and another 12-pack absolutely free.
So the value there, 24 plants for $12.99.
That is incredible.
It's about 50p a plant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, the varieties that you can see here, so we've got Coreopsis, we've got Alchemilla, we've got the Delphinium Fountain, we've got Digitalis, the Dalmatian Foxglove, we've got Rudbeckia, we've got Hollyhock Chaeters, which is the lovely double flowers, Geums, Gaillardia, we've got Sean's favourites.
Yes, Verbena bonariensis.
The Verbena bonariensis, Aquilegia, Campanula, and the Achillea in there as well. So just look at the riot of colour.
God.
Months of flowering there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, months of flowering. I mean, some really nice varieties. So contents may vary slightly, but they're going to give you colour from about May right the way through to October.
And different sizes as well. I mean, if you think about the hollyhocks, for example, and the delphiniums, you know, they're talking really high and tall. And obviously the Verbena bonariensis, that's probably the tallest out of all of them. But then the geums, nice and compact, sort of more ground-hugging plants. So, yeah, you've got a variety of colour, but also variety of sizes included as well.
And personally speaking, I would I would grow them on in pots throughout the next several months till you plant them out in springtime. You could put them in your beds and borders, but there's always a danger that you might forget where they are. You might trample on them. The dog may,
Yeah, I'd pot them up, grow them on, and then so they can still focus on getting their root systems in place for you. And then come springtime, plant those out, and they will romp away at that point, won't they?
And
they will be labelled as well, by the way.
So
you don't have to guess.
So I'm laughing. So there was Stu and I were talking earlier. There's one day when we were doing a little online video of these. So we took all the plants out willy-nilly, then got them all mixed up, and it was like, oh,
which is which?
Yeah, because it's when they're in flower, they're easily recognisable. But when they're just small plants in leaf, it's not
sometimes
as easy.
I would guess that's a GM, and you can sort of have a little look, and you can guess. But do pay attention to the labels. It will match it up to what's in the greenhouse for you.
Yes. So if you do plant them up, then yes. I personally would label those. But it's a buy one get one free, 200, 3, 4, 7. An absolutely amazing collection. Now, Bex and I are very excited.
I love these.
About these.
I love this colour. I love these.
You sounded like my friend Denise there. You did.
I love them.
I've got a friend, you might know, she's a presenter friend of ours, Denise Robinson. You sounded like her there. She goes, this goes really deep. I love these. But we do.
Look at that colour.
Wow.
That gorgeous bright blue colour. And it's got that shine, that sheen on there. So it does look like a glazed ceramic. But it's not. It is plastic. So you're not going to worry about cracks and breaks here. But it's that lovely UV stabilised, frost resistant. These are going to look great for years.
I don't think you would ever know that wasn't a solid...
No, you wouldn't be able to tell. Absolutely not.
I'm just standing back from a distance to have a look, and I cannot imagine.
I'm 100% buying these. I'm definitely getting these because those are true standout. They look so rich, so expensive, and it's on a killer deal today. So $19.99 for one. I'd be happy to pay that for one because I think these are proper, standout ones. But the double up deal here means you get the second one for a fiver.
I just think honestly,
great size. I would drill some extra holes in the bottom there.
I was just thinking that.
There's one big one in the bottom there, and there are some channels going out to the side there to let extra drainage go away. But I probably would drill a few extra holes in the bottom of this one. But it's easy to drill holes in the bottom of plastic pots. Super simple.
Or if you're not great with the drill, just put some gravel.
Loads of gravel.
Yeah, in the bottom. I'm with you on that, just because it's so wet nowadays, isn't it? But they look absolutely fantastic.
I love them. I'm having them. They're mine.
I'll beat you to it. No, I'm actually thinking one of these either side of my mum's front door as well.
That's why I like these, because in the pair, and either side of front door, back door, patio area, whatever it is, but that pairing, the two of those are going to look incredible. Yeah. Stu's just talking about the standards in here. So anything that's a standard. So, let's get the Photinia. We've got that one, for example. So two of those in there, beautiful. The red of the Photinia, the blue of that, but any standard, I think. And then underplant with your bedding. Oh.
Honestly, we were both, when we saw these, we only saw them in real life today, we both said, oh my word, they're just absolutely beautiful.
I love the shape as well. That lovely tapered...
And they're big, they're 15 inches in diameter, so you've got so much scope with those.
They're gorgeous.
But the benefit is they're not going to crack. They're 100% frost-proof, UV resistant. They should last you years, if not decades. They're lightweight, but they look absolutely superb. Now, it's also the time of year when you want to start making up your winter hanging baskets. We do sell ready-made ones, by the way, on our website. So if you're thinking, can't be bothered, we have got ready done ones already raring to go. However, we have got right now the most amazing deal for these rattan hanging baskets. They're real rattan, they're not a faux rattan, they're the real thing. You get 4 of them for $22.99. So it works out less than £6 each, which is actually a really good price. And these, I always think the real rattan baskets, by the way, it works out about £5.17 in the club, something like that each. to me, they're really sophisticated.
They are, absolutely. So whilst you're waiting for those, you know, for your plants to sort of fill and trail and tumble over the edge, you've still got something beautiful that you're looking at, that natural finish to these with the rattan. You've got the chains included as well. I'm assuming these are galvanised as well, Stu, like the other ones. They are indeed, yeah. So they're not going to rust easily. So you just need to fill these, and we've got options for you today. So fill these, get them hung up, and you will enjoy those for years, won't you?
I was just thinking, I once bought some replacement chains for my hanging baskets. I'm sure they were about £3 each.
Yeah, probably.
Something silly. Everything's silly prices nowadays. Apart from YGTV, when we've got really, really good pricing, I think you'll agree. And that, to get those for, say, for club members, about £5.17 each.
A good size as well,
yeah.
actually. I think they're a really good size, so they'll create a beautiful display.
Whenever I've sometimes planted up smaller hanging baskets, the trouble is they can dry out really
quickly, yeah.
And also plants can become crowded very quickly. So to get the 14-inch opposed to the 12 just gives you that little bit more movement when it comes to the plants doing a little bit better, having more space, but also not drying out as easily. And you get all four for that incredible price. They're lovely, aren't they?
They're really good, yeah. Love those.
So I'm just thinking I've got so many hanging baskets to do for winter.
You'll be fine. You say this, but then you get on a roll with it and you do it.
Yes.
You said this earlier in the year as well. Once you've done it, it's all fine.
Yeah. I do look after. I've got a really big garden.
You've got your mum's garden, you've got the pub garden.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hanging baskets. How many did you do earlier in the year? Is it 30 something?
No, it's more, because I did a plant sale and made some up for those as well. I think I did about 50.
Just line them all up.
I do. I do. I literally do. I do like a conveyor belt of hanging baskets.
I'll come and help you.
Oh, that'd be great.
If you want some help, I'd love to come and help you. No problem.
We do it for just a free drink and a meal at the pub.
I'll do it for a bottle of beer.
Well, can have a decent drink and a meal at the pub.
Right, I'll have a bit of pie, because that pie is delicious at your pub.
It is.
So good.
That'd be fun, though. It would, because it would help me, actually.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, there you go, deal.
Anytime you like.
If you want to help, let us know. Right, we're going to move on, though, to our premium professional compost. We've still got the 3 for 2 bulbs that are absolutely flying today. But we are going to talk about our best-selling product here at YouGarden is our premium professional compost. I mentioned earlier about the ready-made hanging baskets that we sell, all grown in this. All of our bare roots that we plant, roses, hydrangeas, all grown in here. But why is it such a good compost? Let's break it down.
Well, because you get results with it. Let's go through the ingredients for you. So let's talk about the composted wood fibre first of all. You can see sort of little fibrous bits of material in here. Now that is composted wood fibre, incredibly well composted. Sometimes when you've opened another bag of compost, you know, that one that you bought somewhere else, it's got great big lumps and chunks, really big twigs. It frustrates me, especially if I'm planting little plug plants or seeds, because you don't want those big chunks in. You end up picking all those out before you start your planting job. You never get that with this compost. It's incredibly well composted. Now, the composted wood fibre has multiple benefits. Air is really important when it comes to root development. They need access to oxygen. If it's thick and heavy and claggy, it's really difficult for roots to grow and to spread. So first of all, that texture allows them to get there, but it also allows oxygen to get around the roots, which is vitally important. It also helps with water distribution and also retaining moisture in the soil as well, in the compost, which is perfect in summer when it's hot and baking and it dries out, but also in autumn when we get those very windy days. It can dry pots and baskets out very quickly. So the composted wood fibre has multiple benefits.
Now you've also got 3 different types of peat in here. You've got white, you've got dark peats, and you've got renewable peats, which is the sphagnum moss peat. We have over the years reduced the content of peat, obviously for environmental needs, but I am going to say it, much as we all ideally want to be peat-free, so many people are still struggling with some of the peat-free compost to get the results. Personally, I've found that a lot of peat-free compost dry out really quickly. I tried some with my tomatoes and they just constantly needed watering. Didn't seem to respond that well to the feed either. So yes, we are working towards peat-free, of course we are, but we have used peat since really time began, and it does make a difference, but we have reduced the quantity over the years. But you've got some amazing peats in there, the white, the dark, and the renewable peats as well, such as the sphagnum moss peats.
The little green balls that you can see in the compost. I mean, there's a squished one there, but so there's little green balls that you'll find throughout the compost. And what that's when it's not squashed, what it will contain is Stu's finding them. Look, you can see them in there. What those contain is a slow release fertiliser. Going to feed your plants for a good 5 to 6 months when you first plant it out in there. I'm rubbish at remembering to feed my plants. Every year I say I'm going to get better. I'm going to do it regularly. I'm going to do it every 2 weeks during the spring and summer, and every year I fail in that attempt.
So this is your insurance policy, list, isn't it?
Yeah. It's your insurance policy to make sure your plants get their feed.
And then just quickly, a few more things. You have got a wetting agent, so that means that if your basket, your pot dries out, when you rewater it, that wetting agent allows the water to basically just stick to that compost and rehydrate it pretty much instantly. So you're never going to water your basket and find all the water goes over the edge.
And it's pH balanced as well, which means it's perfect for the majority of your plants, whether that's indoors or outdoors, exceptions being the ones that love the ericaceous compost, like your rhododendrons, your azaleas, your blueberries. But basically this has been formulated so it works with pretty much everything. Houseplants love it, outdoor plants love it. We get the best results from this. You get the best results from this. This is why it is our massively highest 5-star rated product.
And you've got free delivery. Now don't forget, if you get your order to over £40 today, you get free delivery. So if you've already got a few plants in your baskets and you're thinking, oh, I need to, at the moment I need to pay the £6.99 postage, get some compost today. And it is a brilliant time to make up your hanging baskets, your winter pots and containers, so your autumn winter displays. Great time to replant things, to move things around in the garden. Maybe you've got a few plants that are not in the right place anymore. If you are move them, always sprinkle in some of our compost into the potting hole. You really should.
Best tip ever, definitely. Right, so we've got all of our 3 for 2 mix and match bulbs coming up for you here. So there are 7 options for you to go for. You can buy 3 of the same if you want to. If you want, how many did the gladioli come in? Packs of, I can't remember. 35. You can get 105. Well done.
Yeah.
You can get 105 of those if you want to. But if you want a pack of gladioli, a pack of muscari, and maybe the fritillarias, you can do that as well. It's on that mix and match deal.
And that is exciting, isn't it? That you can actually get a really sort of like weird and wonderful collection. Or you can just go for your classics as well. You might be thinking, no, I'm just going to go traditional this year.
Perhaps you're thinking about doing lasagna planting. You've got some options here to be able to do lasagna planting.
Which is when you plant the bulbs in different layers, so you get that continuous colour. So, in fact, you've done a little video on that, haven't you?
I've done a little video. If you want to go... Oh, is it... No, I thought it was out already. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere, Stu. I think it's out on Instagram.
I can't just imagine it.
No, I'm sure it's out on Instagram and Facebook. So go and check out the YouGarden page, Instagram and Facebook, because as we were saying earlier about Shaun's little video he's done on the various sizes of plug plants, there's loads of other videos on there as well, and I did one with a lasagna plant, and you can go and check that out.
I've not dreamt it.
No, I definitely did.
I've definitely seen it.
I was wearing this shirt, I remember.
Yes. Anyway, we say loads of great advice and help now on the YouGarden social media and, of course, on the website as well. So, what are your favourites here?
Oh, Caribbean lily, for sure. The fritillaria, absolutely. Muscari, so those 3... I think are in the weird and wonderful category, but I can't choose. I can't choose.
So you might want to go for even like 6 packs. So we're doing 3 for 2. We might go, and then you get obviously 1 free, but I'd go for 6. So the gladiolus, absolutely stunning variety. That's cerise pink there, and you get 35 bulbs. They look great on mass, don't they?
Totally.
Now, I've got muscari, but I've just got the purple ones. This is the album. These are the white ones. I love my purple ones. They're known as grey hyacinths. They do really well under trees and in shady spots, but they do naturalise and spread beyond belief.
Mix these in with those existing purple ones you've got. The purple and the white we know is a perfect colour combination. That will look gorgeous.
Yeah, and they're just so easy to grow. They really are. Then we have got our Caribbean lily, the Scilla peruviana. Everyone loves this. We had it last year. I think it sold out, which is why Bex and I missed out on it. It is a most stunning, exotic-looking bulb. A bit of a cross between a hyacinth and an allium, but I think it's even grander than those. Grows about 30 centimetres. Flowers sort of like Maytime. Absolutely gorgeous. That was probably one of the most talked about bulbs that people grew last year.
And now these are your results. So this was a picture that was sent in from George. Thank you so much for sending this in. This is obviously one he got hold of last year, planted it, and this was the results that he got from this one. We've got a few more to show you as well. Cannot wait to get these in my garden. Malcolm sent this picture in, and that's exactly what you're going to get. It's opening from the outside and then going into the centre.
I'm getting that feeling of jealousy again. Bex.
Totally, yeah. You all made us very jealous with all your pictures.
Hey, do you know what I'm thinking?
Niels.
Do you know there's new pots?
Oh my word!
I mean, you'd have to put 6 in, I think.
Yeah, but we've got the 3 for 2 deal here, so why not? Absolutely.
I'll probably put 9 in.
There's Niels in the plant that I was talking about earlier on the fence there. Love that. I think that's a great display. And we've got another one as well. We've got another couple. Anthony's. Oh, look at this picture. All right, that is our new marketing picture. Look at that. That is a customer picture.
Isn't that the most incredible flower that you can imagine?
The blues and the purples against that backdrop of green, and just the way that it opens up into the centre.
I love that centre cone. We've got those, I said the little bits of almost like lime green before it opens.
You got to get those, guys. Honestly, please do grab the Evergreen Lily while we've still got them. Don't make the mistake that Shaun and I did last year. Oh, I'll get them later, because they will have sold out.
I know exactly what I'm going to plant them this year as well. Right, then we have got the fritillaria. And it's known as a snake's head, and it does look like a snake's head. So, when you think of a snake and the gorgeous skin that you have, you've got exactly the same with these. And again, you look at these, and I've never grown them. I've seen them many times. I've never grown them big. And you look and think they are going to be hard work, but as you were saying earlier, Bex, they've got the RHS Award of Garden Merit.
Indeed,
so they're a proven, tried and tested bulb.
Tried and tested, easy to grow, winter hardy. They like a shady position in actual fact, so that's fantastic. They will burst into life for you in springtime, sort of April and May, and it is just a surefire winner for your garden. They will look amazing. Those beautiful sort of nodding bell-shaped flowers in those gorgeous colours, and the pattern, as you say, that snake skin pattern is incredible.
It is incredible.
So perennial too, so it'll come back for you. So with this, you just allow it to die back down. Once the stem turns brown, you can then cut it off because all the goodness has gone down into the bulb.
I just think they're so exotic again.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I love those. Right, then we've got something a bit more traditional for you. We have got the crocus, but these are the large flowered varieties. So they've got an extra large flower to them. A lot of crocus bulbs can be on the smaller side, but these have got the big flowers. And as we're saying, winter can be long, dull, harsh, grey, wet, boring, depressing, awful. February is a dire month. Do you get the impression I don't like winter?
Yeah, I hate winter too. I can't say it another way. I dislike winter.
Yeah. But I'm all right up to Christmas and New Year, then it's like January, February, it goes right down here. But when those crocus bulbs start to burst through the frosty ground, when they burst through even the snow, when they burst through your lawns, you realise that winter is almost over, spring is around the corner, summer's going to be on its way, and they give you that massive boost and incredible enjoyment.
That colour as well, that gorgeous, sunshiny, yellowy hint of orange. I mean, that is incredible. Love it if you've already got the purple crocus as well. Like, just mix those in. That purple and yellow, we've talked about it a bit already today. It's a beautiful colour combo.
And all I can say is they plant them now. It's going to take you a few minutes to plant them.
They don't take long, do they? Crocus bulbs are not massive, which means they don't need to be planted too deep, which makes your job of planting so much easier.
I normally do mine with my finger. I'll literally fill up a container with compost, get my finger, just make a little hole and pop it in there. Golden rule with bulbs, as many of you know, whatever size the bulb is in terms of depth, plant it twice that, 2 to 3 times it. So if the crocus bulb is, say, 1.5 centimetres, you'd plant it 3 centimetres.
We do have one of these available for you if you fancy one of these, though. If you like the idea of using a bulb planter, it is strong, it's sturdy, it's from Kent and Stowe. It's a really good one. Oh, this is me. So this is me planting in my lawn. Now, bear in mind, I have got thick, heavy clay soil, okay, throughout the lawn, throughout the borders. Planting bulbs is actually really difficult for me in those borders because of the, how thick and heavy this is. And that is me planting in my lawn when I was doing drifts last year. So I threw the bulbs on the lawn. I used the bulb planter. Wherever the bulb landed, I just went over it, look, and you can see how heavy my soil is there.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, that would have been a really hard job without the bulb planter.
It really would have been a hard job without the bulb planter. So I was just popping them in, and then you can pop the bit out and just press that into place.
And I think if you've got dexterity problems as well, I know my mum, she's got quite bad arthritis in her hand. She does struggle even with the trowel sometimes. It's a brilliant device. It cuts really well into the ground, doesn't it?
Yeah, and because it's slightly tapered, look, it actually holds on to the bit that you've taken out of the ground, and then you can just push it straight back through the centre. And it has the measurements up the side as well, so you've got your inch measurements up the side. So if you are being really careful on how deep you're going. So great for clay soil, but also if you want to do it in, your looser soil or the premium professional compost, it gives you that correct depth.
And it just speeds everything up, particularly if you're planting en masse. Now, we've also got the Dutch Iris collection as well. Now, this is amazing value. You get 100 bulbs for £9.99. All of our 45,000 club members, you're going to get this for £8.99 today. That works out 9 pence a bulb. In fact, it works out less because it's a 3-for-2 mix and match.
Yeah. Yeah, to take
so you can actually take a third off that. I mean, this is crazy, isn't it?
It is, and look at that mix of colour, the pink, the white, the purple, the kind of more lilac-y colours. I said pink, didn't I? I didn't mean pink. Purple, the white, the yellow and the lilac colours. Really clever, carefully selected colour combination in there. And these are a bit taller as well, so these are going to get to about 2 feet. So with this collection of bulbs we're bringing you, you've not only got different slightly different flowering times, but you've got different heights and different colours as well, which is why this mix and match is going to work really beautifully.
And then finally, in our mix and match, 7 different collections to choose from. We have got the narcissus, the daffodils, but these are, look at these.
Look at the size of those bulbs.
Yeah.
They're massive.
They really are. And size does matter. If you ever buy daffodils and it's a smaller bulb, the flowers are likely to be a lot smaller and not to be as impactful. But these are going to be full-size daffodils. Every single one of these bulbs should produce the most amazing flower. I cannot find a squishy one in there.
Ones, is there? No, they are premium quality bulbs, absolutely. And you can get 75 of those if you like on the 3-for-2, or you can mix and match with any of the other ones that we have shown you. Gorgeous mix of colours included as well. So, different shapes, different colours. So it's not just one daffodil variety. You're going to get multiples in there. They will naturalise as well. We know how good daffodils are for naturalising. Once you plant them, they will spread, and they can be incredibly long-lasting, decades. Longer.
Just make sure you let them die down naturally, because that refeeds the bulb.
Yeah, but if you're getting loads and loads of them, so if you want to have a patch that you use for cut flowers...
Oh, yeah.
Great, you can do. And then have another patch that you leave to naturalise. Obviously, the ones you use for cut flowers, chances are you're not going to get those ones to come back. But if you're getting 75, you've got enough to do both.
Yeah, so absolutely superb value. And we are only looking at £8.99 for club members, 600 180. One thing I think we both do a lot of this when it comes to bulb planting. We tend to plant a lot of them in pots, because the great thing is when they go over, you just
hide it. Yeah. Hide the pot, get rid of it, let it die down naturally, and then you can bring it back out again next year. It's nice and easy.
I've done that with a lot of my pots.
I brought you a present.
Do you know, I saw these down there and I was like...
I meant to bring them out earlier. You remember you brought your tomatoes in and I said I was going to bring mine in?
Yeah,
So these are the super sweet ones. Super sweet tomatoes that I grew this year.
They're nice.
They're good flavour, aren't they?
Yeah. I had a moan about my tomatoes to Bex. I grew 2 varieties. To be fair, the second variety, the Chocolata, was actually really nice.
Was it?
But the first one, I won't mention it, just in case. It was tasteless. They're really good.
I love those.
So we're just on our lunch break. Hope you don't mind.
Good though, aren't they?
Amazing.
When we do Super Sweet again, I talked about it loads when we were selling them, but when we do Super Sweet again, I'm going to tell you the virtues of these.
They're really good.
They're so tasty.
They're really good.
Anyway.
So one of mine, I won't mention them, but it wasn't great. It wasn't from YouGarden. The other one was a chocolate, which was lovely. Anyway, that's going to be a boost. Good morning. Welcome to YGTV. We've got some amazing offers today. If you just joined us, we put a basket together, just give you a little bit of inspiration here. But we've got in here the lobelia. Hang on, let me just go back up, Stu. Let me have a little look. Right, so you're probably thinking, because that lobelia, we told you it was $6.99. At the moment, it's showing $14.97. But we haven't put the code in yet, because we're still being charged postage of $6.99. So we put our code in, boom, there you go. So suddenly we get all the freebies. So there you go. So the reason why one of the bulbs is coming up free, the Fritillaria, because it's remember, a 3 for 2 offer. Now the free gift today is the brand new edition of Garden News magazine. Now this is a brilliant magazine. It's the UK's biggest selling garden magazine. All the top celebrity gardeners write in it. People like Campbell Klein, Nick Bailey, Peter McDermott, our head gardener here. So loads of freebies when you use our offer code, which is YGTV3724. But let's remind you of some of the great plants we've seen today. Now, September is a brilliant month for planting new perennials. It's going to give the ground's warm, it's easy to work, but it's going to allow your perennials for next year to really settle and establish. They're going to put all of that work into growing great root systems, settling in. So it's a great time to plant the echinacea, the papalo orange here. It's a stunning echinacea. It flowers late summertime. The flowers last for ages, often known as the cone flower, because these amazing centres that the pollinators love. And what I love about echinacea, they tend to be completely self-supporting, so you don't need ugly canes and things like that. And they come back every single year and get bigger and stronger and better. So you're going to get all 3 of those for $10.99. They may arrive with flowers, they may not. Do not worry if they don't have flowers on right now, because actually, you really want them just to get established. Then you're going to have the most amazing displays in 2025. 560895. Now, the deal of the year has got to be this, the Lobelia Speciosa Queen Victoria. This is a perennial lobelia. So it's not like your summer bedding lobelia. It's a stunning perennial that's hardy to -5. So it may need a little bit of protection depending on where you are. But you get these huge spikes of gorgeous red flowers set against that burgundy foliage. Now they can grow, we say 60 centimetres to even close to 1 metre. I've seen them even taller actually, but they are really, really dramatic, beautiful plants. And I love the flowers, don't you? Look at those, just such a stunning flower set against that dramatic foliage. So it's a really special variety. It's got the RHS Award of Garden Merit, 560,860, and the price today you are going to save nearly £23. So I think virtually everyone's gone for those today. Definitely get them in your basket while we have that incredible price, 560,860. Now I love red hot pokers. The Nephofia. Sounds weird, doesn't it? I love red hot pokers, only the plant. But this is a miniature version, so these are only going to grow to about 50, 60 centimetres. They're really compact. They're all hot colours. You've got papaya, you've got orange, you've got mango. And they are, if you want to create that really kind of like exotic, tropical look in your garden, this is a magnificent collection. And unlike the big red hot pokers, which can get a little bit messy, particularly with the foliage, they're a lot neater, they're a lot more compact. And great at flying sort of like mid to late summer. And those are 561217 for the Nephofia Red Hot Poker Popsicle Collection. Now we've also got for you some stunning polyanthus, and these are known as spring fever. So these start to flower sort of autumn time, and they then flower all through the winter into spring. Just keep deadheading, so keep taking off those tall stems, and they'll get more and more in terms of their flowering. So they will continue to flower right the way through those dark sort of winter months early spring, mid-spring time. They will form clumps, so you can actually divide those, spread them around the garden. The one thing with polyanthus, they just don't like being waterlogged, so make sure the crowns are never sat in water, because that would just literally rot the centre away. And that's 410 012, great for pots, containers, hanging baskets, and of course your beds and borders. Now we also have on the show, I think these are really pretty. So these are the primulas. So these don't have the tall stems, you just get these gorgeous flowers, but many of these you can see, in fact all of these are what we call doubles. So they're a lot more exotic looking, they're a lot prettier, there's a lot more to them. And normally this variety is a lot more expensive, but you're going to get 20 garden ready plants today at just £12.99, which works out amazing value for money. And again, they are garden ready, so you can plant them right now in your beds and borders. Now we've also got the buy one get one free on our cottage garden perennials. So these are going to need a little bit of growing on. And you've got things like coreopsis in here, you've got lady's mantle, you have got hollyhocks, you've got foxgloves, gaillardia, geums, echinacea, you might have things like hollyhocks, Verbena bonariensis could be in here, campanula, they are all there. So loads of garden favourites. But it will be a mixture. So some of the things that I've mentioned might be in the collection, some might not, but they will all be proven performers. There's a siskiyou there as well, so masses of variety. A hollyhock that you're looking at right now, quite an unusual one, but yes, 24 plug plants in total, and that's 200,347. It's a buy one get one free. They just need growing on because they're going to have as plug plants, and personally speaking, I would definitely grow those on in pots and then plant them in your garden in springtime next year. Salvia could also be in the collection that we're looking at right now. But if you have just joined us, good morning. Welcome to our live show, our live stream. We're here till 1 o'clock today. Any questions, we'd love you to come through. And also, just sending in pictures of your gardens. What's looking good right now?
Yeah. I don't know if we've received any more pictures, but do send them through. I've got the iPad, I'm ready and waiting. I've got the YouTube chat, you're all chatting to each other, which is lovely. Good morning, everybody. If you've got any questions, you're welcome to send them in through the YouTube chat. Stu's looking at the Facebook chat as well, and then emails. Ooh, let's have a look. Dave sent one. Oh, so Dave sent the picture of the amaryllis in flower.
And
then he said it was a bulb from you, indoor flowered at Christmas. I just put it in the garden in your compost. Right, so his amaryllis is in flower now. We showed this picture earlier on.
That's really unusual.
Which is weird that it's flowering now because it's a Christmas flowering thing, isn't it? So what you said in that email was that you had it indoors, flowered at Christmas. So indoor, flowered at Christmas. I just put it in the garden in your compost.
Right, honestly, that is really news, because normally with an amaryllis, after it's flowered sort of like after Christmas, you normally let all the foliage grow right the way through summer. Then you normally stop watering it, put it in the dark, let all the foliage die down, and then replant it at Christmas time. So for that to happen, that honestly...
It's unusual, isn't it?
That's what I love about gardening, though.
I love it. I love a little surprise.
I'm going to try that myself next year. That shouldn't have really happened, technically. That's not... No. I'm really shocked with that.
I like it.
I love it.
We love the out-of-season teasers. They're one of our favourite things, aren't they?
Somebody out there has got green fingers, definitely. Now, we've also got for you some of our Pro Plugs. And these are the most affordable plug plants that we do. Now, these do need growing on.
Yeah.
But
we've got something for you to grow them on.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
And you get amazing value. Should we start, actually, should we start with these?
Yeah, shall we? So you've got the propagator kits to go with these Pro Plugs. And you're going to get 3 of these. And then you get the little containers to go inside. So you're going to get 3 of those, and you get enough of those to fit in the 3. And you also get the lids for them as well. You wouldn't necessarily need the lids for these particular plug plants, but you might need it for seed propagation and things as well. So 3 of those, which means you've got 90 spaces in total for you to put your plants in.
Do you know what? For £8.99,
it's a great
that is
kit.
Incredible. And you only buy this once; it should last you years. Yeah. I'm very lucky. I've got a big greenhouse. Bex is lucky because she's got a big conservatory that is now a greenhouse.
It is now a greenhouse, yeah.
But a lot of people don't have room for conservatories and greenhouses. But the great thing is, if you've got a windowsill, that's all you need.
Yeah, it's been designed to be able to fit onto a windowsill, so you can turn your windowsill into your greenhouse. It's obviously self-contained. There's no holes in the green one. The holes are in the little pods that sit inside there, so you've got that drainage. So the water will gather on here rather than on your windowsill. Keeps it nice and neat and contained, but you can still, get your plants going. You don't need a greenhouse.
And I like the colour of these. They're a bit more funky than normal.
Yeah, so I got the black ones from last year. But I think it's a colour will vary. You might get the green, you might get the black. But yeah, they both do exactly the same job.
Apparently our current stock is all green.
Perfect.
We just checked.
Perfect.
If you order today, you should get green. But that little investment today of £8.99 or £8.09 is going to save you potentially hundreds of pounds over the next few years, because it means if you've got this system, you can buy our little Pro Plugs.
Well, if you get this system twice. So buy this twice, it'll give you 180 spaces. And if you then buy all 3 of the Garden Readies that we've got, which is not Garden Ready, Pro Plugs. All 3 of the Pro Plug options we've got, they're 60 each, that's 180. You can grow all of them, basically.
Now, I actually bought the Pro Plugs for the pub garden that I look after, because it's a big garden. And I haven't got an endless budget like most people. And do you know what? It saved me a fortune, and they just looked they still look fantastic now. So for those of you who've got a little bit of time, get the propagator kit, and then go for maybe the Bellis.
Oh, these
60
are cute.
for £12.99. This is one of my mum's favourite.
I love these. So look, the Pro Plugs come in these pods for you here. So it's like a plug plant. It's just a smaller plug plant. So it just requires you growing them on. All you have to do is take them out of here. So I'm going to go for this one that's got the flower on. What I do is just give a little squeeze at the bottom. Shaun uses a little stick to poke in the hole at the bottom, but I squeeze and that just pushes that plant out so that you can then take it out. Even in that tiny little pod there, check out the root system of that. I mean, that is so healthy. So all you now have to do is pop those into whatever it is you're using, but if it's the propagator kit, for example, Shaun's just put a little bit of our premium professional compost in there, finger dibber.
There you go.
Secure that into place and then put it into the green bit, put it on your windowsill and you're ready to go.
And before you know it,
doesn't take long at all.
They're going to be ready to go in your pots and containers in your garden.
It only takes a few weeks. So I did it with the Pansy Cascadia, the XL trailing ones. I did it last year with those. To do this process, it only took me about 20 minutes to pop the 60 up, and then they sat on my windowsill, occasional watering, and I think it was 3 or 4 weeks later I was planting them out.
But you do need to grow them on. Don't put them straight into containers. They just need that extra growth for the next few weeks. But it saves you a fortune, and I mean, to get 60 of the Bellis, and these are great for autumn colour. They're fantastic.
Oh yeah, fantastic. So you can see they're starting to flower now, and these are going to romp away, and these will flower all winter long, right the way through into springtime. They're these lovely sort of pom-pom shaped, and just a lovely texture to the flowers as well, aren't they?
Yeah, do you know what? I might go for Bellis this year. I didn't have them last year.
Well, apparently these complement pansies very well.
Yeah, they do.
I've never grown these, but apparently these work really nicely with the pansies, and of course you will have pansies in your winter displays, won't you? So.
And I know sometimes when it's really wet, some winter bedding doesn't do that great, but these are very robust. I know my mum's garden, they really do, as you say, romp away merrily all the way through autumn and winter and into spring. And I love the colours, don't you?
Yeah, they're really lovely. You'll get so many flowers on these, and they are known as sort of one of the first of the bedding plants, the first flowering of your autumn bedding plants. So it really helps to extend all of that colour for you.
And when you're only paying £12.99, £11.69 for club members, the amount of work that's gone into those. I mean, seeds are not cheap nowadays.
No.
Seed prices are not.
They've really gone up, haven't they?
Yeah, you used to be able to buy a bag of seeds for like 99p. Now, a lot of the seeds I bought was like £3.99, something like that. But the amount of work that's gone into growing these from seed and then pricking them all out and then potting them into the tray that you've got right now, a huge amount of work, and you're going to get them for £11.69. So all the really difficult bit has been done.
Yeah.
Yours is the easy part now, just growing them on in your propagator kit. Now we have got our dianthus next.
Dianthus Jensen, Sweet William. Yeah.
Look at these already in flower.
Look at the flowers that are on here. Sweet Williams smell delicious as well, don't they?
Yeah, they really do.
I want to have a sniff. Oh yeah.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're really good. That one's the strongest one there.
I can't notice it because I've got a rubbish sense of smell. But I can smell that. Yeah,
that's gorgeous, isn't it? Again, Pro Plug. So you use a little stick, don't you? There's a hole in the bottom there, so you can poke them out. If you give it a little squeeze, generally that is enough, I find, to just then be able to get hold of the plant and tease it out. And exactly that. Great root system as well. Look. Even on that tiny little one, great root system. The Sweet Williams are great, aren't they, for the amount of flowers you get, the colours you get, the fragrance that you get, and the fact that they're going to flower for you again. Now, October, November, December, January, February, March, they just keep going for you.
Gee, I'm really excited about planting for autumn and winter because things are beginning to go over a bit, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. You know, the garden is starting. Right, the dahlias are still looking fantastic. Actually, this last few weeks, the dahlias seem to have got even better. So I don't know, they're slightly cooler days or whatever. It's really brought them out. But a lot of everything else in the garden, all that summer bedding, it is starting to die off. We're losing a bit of colour. We need to re-inject that colour. Yeah,
I was just thinking my osteospermum have been amazing, but they are just...
slowing down now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're past their best.
Yeah.
They still look good, but they're not...
Yeah.
Not what they were. A lot of us said that about ourselves, don't we? You look at the room and you go...
We get to that age, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Not what I was.
Not what I was. Yeah, we all know that feeling. But anyway, just like we can sometimes rejuvenate ourselves and regenerate, it's time to do that with your hanging baskets and your pots and containers. And then finally, we have got our violas, the Valentinos for your next.
Yeah, so very much like the pansies, the larger flowers, very much like our cool waves, but we're talking about a smaller flower here, violas. And of course, these have got those gorgeous little faces included. Yeah. Though they're smaller, you do get lots of them, don't you? They're perfectly formed, nice and low growing, nice and compact. Each one of these plug plants is going to reach about 25 by 25 centimetres, but they're bright, they're bold. It's a true viola, so they're very tolerant of heat and cold in actual fact, whereas other violas can go a little bit sad, can't they, in sort of warmer days. But it's a very reliable performer, and all you have to do is deadhead it occasionally.
And what I will say is, if you're doing your winter displays, you know, a lot of you have been buying the bulbs today. When you've got violas like this in hanging baskets and pots and containers, and then you start to get the crocus come through and the narcissus, it looks absolutely amazing. So 60 of those, 12.99, 401 154. But don't forget, all of those Pro Plugs will need a little bit of growing on. We've done a lot of the hard work, so they've already obviously been germinated from seeds, they've established themselves as mini little dynamite plants, but they just need growing on. And this allows you to grow up to 90 plants in total. So Bex has done the maths. If you went for 2 kits of these, you could grow all of those Pro Plugs, all 180. 180!
That is a really cost-effective way of filling your garden. If you're shopping on a budget, that's the best way of doing it. And you get all of the pods. I just threw one on the floor, you probably noticed. You will get another one in there.
And don't you think, Bex, there's a real sense of satisfaction and achievement? It's to see that journey when you plant up that Pro Plug and then suddenly it becomes a massive, gorgeous plant. There's a massive sense of achievement and satisfaction.
Absolutely.
And so I did that this year. Bex has done it the previous year. It's really worth that little bit of effort to save an absolute fortune. 120034 for that triple pack of the windowsill propagator kit. Right, we have now got my favourite plant this year.
Yeah, love this.
Verbena bonariensis. I planted mine a year and a half ago. You've got these in your garden.
I have got them in my garden. I planted mine about that 2 years ago, and I planted some new ones this year as well. And it is one of the best plants in the garden. It really is. The height, the way it grows, the colour, the fact that the bees love it. There's so many good things about this.
Now, Stu, who's in charge of technical, we let him out of the building a few weeks ago and he came down to my garden just to do a bit of filming. So here's what the Verbena bonariensis looks like. Well, this edge of my patio looks a little bit severe and harsh, I think you'll agree. But if I take you around this side, I actually planted last year Verbena bonariensis, and I just love this because you still get the view, but it softens the whole border. and I just adore these like pom-poms of purple. And it's a massive one for the pollinators as well. You get so many bees just dancing around here. But Verbena bonariensis, it's often known as a transparent plant. And what it does, it really highlights other plants in your beds and borders without dominating. You can always see through it. You've got these lovely kind of, I always call them like plants that look like they've done Pilates, because you've got these long, lean kind of stems and side stems, and there's these little purple pom-poms on the edge of every one. So they never block, they never dominate, they never overtake, but they complement all the other plants in the garden. Now, these are in full flower right now. Last year, I let them go to seed. I want to show you what's happened. So if you come and take a look down here, I mentioned that I let these go to seed last year. They look really attractive during the winter, but look, there are now hundreds of mini Verbena bonariensis. Look, loads and loads of these. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig these up and I'm going to plant them all the way around the garden. So imagine what I've got here. I can have the other side of the patio, and then I really want, that border's a bit dull over there, so I'm just going to plant dozens of Verbena bonariensis, and I think it's going to look great. And all these plants were free just from the seeds from these. I love that plant. I love that video. The one thing I don't like about that video is that awful t-shirt I was wearing. Let's be honest. No, I do need to mention it. You know, my body really isn't that bad, Bex.
But it's given you motivation.
It did.
So that is a good thing about it. That's given you true motivation, isn't it?
I've lost a few kilos since.
There you go, see?
And I've been the t-shirt.
What we need to do is keep showing that video to keep giving you that motivation.
Do you know what? What does motivate me is to have more Verbena in my garden.
Yeah,
what I've
there you go.
With all the baby ones, because I did leave mine, as you saw there, to sell seed. So what I've done, the baby ones, I've started to spread them around the other side of the garden.
Yeah, perfect.
They're amazing. And you get all 3 of those today for $9.99. And these weren't flowering last week, but now...
No, well, so these definitely, they've had a chop. You can see where these have had a chop down, and they've actually re-sprouted. And the flowers that are coming through now are absolutely incredible. It does flower for ages as well.
Yeah.
So it normally starts coming through in around, I mean, you see the growth coming up. It comes around in about June, and then it keeps going all the way through to September and into October. So it's a really nice long flowering one. Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit and their badge, which says they are perfect for pollinators, and the bees do adore them, don't they?
They really do. It's got everything. It really
ticks every single box.
And whatever garden you've got, I mean, it does like sun, so you need a fair bit of sun, but it's never gonna take over from other plants.
Even though it will self-seed and spread itself around happily, it's still not going to take over.
No. So, because it's, as I say, we call it a transparent plant, you can actually see through it. It's elegant. So, cannot recommend that highly enough, and that is 560-910. It's only £9.99 today and $8.99 for club members. Right, Rebecca Goldstone next. This is one of your favourites, isn't it?
I adore this, and I want more of this in my garden, but it doesn't matter. I've got one plant, which means that I can actually divide this one.
Yes.
And I will be able to spread it around because it forms beautiful clumps. You'll get 3 of these included, and the reason I love this so much is it flowers for ages. It flowers late, so it is perfect right now and has looked perfect. So that was it when it first started. That was about 6 weeks ago. Can't remember the actual date. I'll have to look back at my videos. No, that's not today's video. That is not today's video. That is about 6 weeks ago, Stu.
We believe you, Bex.
That's the first video I did. It is... It's not today's video, Stu, I promise
today's
you.
even better, Bex.
Right, well, you've made the wrong one, Stu. I am going to mirror my phone right now, and I'm going to show you the video from today.
Yeah. We need to see today's. We don't trust you, do we?
Right, hang on. I'm coming. Photos.
By the way,
here you go. Here
if
is
you have to tell us,
today's
we are
video.
live. It's a live stream, as you probably noticed. Right, let's see today's.
It should be playing, Stu. Is it playing? Oh, it's not playing. Come on. I'm just scrolling through it, look. So that is what it looks like today. It is absolutely
there's more flowers.
beautiful. So that was it this morning. That video that Stu just showed you, that was it about 6 weeks ago. I have done nothing to it in that time. I've literally just looked at it because it looks so beautiful.
Incredible.
The flowers are still perfectly formed. They're not even close to going over yet. So this is why we're talking about Rudbeckia as being one of those late flowering perennials that you need to have in your garden, because at the point where everything else is starting to look a bit rubbish and a bit dull, this one is still doing the best job.
Cool. And I do think it's important. It's September time. You still want to enjoy it, don't you?
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
not ready for winter.
Outside.
Yeah.
You know, there's still time to be out there and enjoying being in the semi-warmth. But I still want to spend time in my garden. I still want to look at beautiful things.
Me and my other half having a barbecue tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's only 12 degrees, but it's going to be sunny. So we're going to have a barbecue. We're going to wrap up, have a barbecue. Sounds great. Right. We are going to move on now to another magnificent deal. 3 pampas grasses. Are you ready for the price of these? Because the price you're going to see, you'd think it was for one. So, 3 pampas grasses, the king of grasses, £7.99.
£7.99, all 3 of those. This is where I have to mirror it on the other one, because you've got to see this picture of Shaun.
So I planted this exact pampas grass 3.5 years ago in my garden, and I've counted the plumes that are appearing. They're not fully out, but I reckon I've got over 50 plumes this year. Last year I had about 20, the year before I had about 3, but that's how shocked I was, Bex. Look.
Let me just... No, but you're so happy about that pampas grass, aren't you?
Supposed to be
That's
shocked.
what that face is. Look at how good that pampas is.
That's my mad shocked look.
It does look beautiful though, doesn't it? I love the way that it's kind of free in its growth, how it looks very free form. It's not architectural in a neat and tidy way. It's just, I love it.
And it has got, honestly, they're not fully formed. So when they're just coming up now, so they'll get a lot taller, but there's about 50 plumes. And I'm going to actually dry some of this year and have them inside. Do
you know what I love about that as well? So there's a bit of a moody sky in the background there. And it looks great with that. But it also, if that was a bright blue, sunny sky there, that would look amazing as well. It looks good in all weathers.
I mean, look, it's the king of grasses. It's a big grass. You need space, and I'm looking to have space. So do think about where these are going to go. Maybe even give some to friends and family. But they will grow to about 1.5 metres, 2 metres by 2 metres or so, maybe even more. But they are magnificent, and they're evergreen,
of course, they're evergreen too. They do look fantastic. I adore pampas. I think they're really pretty.
You've got the pink one, haven't you?
I got the pink one. It's not doing great at the minute. I got clay soil, and it's pretty tricky. But we'll see. It's not dying. It's just taking its time.
Yes, settling in.
Settling in.
But they do love, ideally, sun and well-drained soil.
I mean, they grow great in coastal regions, don't they? That's their favourite kind of place.
Yeah. But they do need space. You could grow them in pots, but you need massive pots for them, really big pots. But they are amazing, and you get all 3 for £7.99. Now, we are going to move on to another of our absolute favourites. It's the complete allium collection. 100 bulbs, all the top varieties. Some you may know, some, I mean, you'll instantly recognise some of them, and so you might go, oh, that's an unusual one. But all 100 for £12.99. Yeah,
and I love the fact that you've got mixtures in there, and the fact that they are different flowering times. So your earliest is going to be probably your purple sensation down here, and the lovely nectaroscordum or siculum over here. But the latest flowering is spherocephalon, the drumsticks. These actually go through into summertime, July, August. The mollies, they come in about June, May, June time. The Christophys, those are quite early, so those come along almost with your purple sensations, but you've got a mixture of colours, mixture of shapes, mixture of heights, and they do grow on really nice, tall, sturdy stems that can withstand the British weather.
Yeah, and you've got the 2 whites there as well, the nigrum and the Neapolitanum.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
I mean, I just love that combination. And the biggest, I love. When you see these, I've actually got some dried ones.
They're great, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they are massive.
And they are huge, huge globes, aren't they? What's your favourite?
Yeah, I really like that one, actually. That was the one I grew for the first time this year, and it was really pretty. But I've got to go back to the purple sensation. I mean, Christopher is nice as well, but the purple sensation, the more dense purple balls, because I think those are just classically alliums. Those are the ones you think of when you think of alliums.
But there's the molly, the yellow.
Really pretty, 7 different varieties. They're all going to naturalise. You can use them as cut flowers. Look, and this is it. Look, the bees just have the best time. See, I think that might be a Christophi.
I think that's Christophi.
Yeah, but it was a smaller one that year.
Might be bigger this year.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. And the Christophi does look stunning dried. So I've got some. I'd love to take credit for them. I've got some in my conservatory that are dried, but actually it was a friend that.
Was it?
Yeah.
I did it this year, so I cut them all once they'd all finished flowering and they'd died down. I cut them all and it was so easy. Just put them into a vase as a dried display. They look really pretty.
Yeah, you can even spray them as well for Christmas time. Right, we are going to move on to our Lavatera next, though, as well. The mallows, and again, the value today on these is incredible. And this is one that you don't have yet, do you?
Not yet, no, but I do intend to plant these because I just think the fact that they grow quite vigorously, you know, they can grow a full metre, 1.5 metres in that season, can't they? That's how big they will grow. You chop them down. You chop yours down to about 2 feet, 3 feet in height.
What I do in autumn, I take off just the very top, just because I live in an exposed area and I don't want the top to get damaged or the plant to get damaged in the winds. And then in springtime, I chop them right back to probably about 60 to 90 centimetres. But they flower on new growth, so even when they've been really kind of chopped back quite harshly, you still get an amazing display of flowers.
And they will grow in that season too, a good sort of 6 feet in height, and they aren't dense and thick and full.
Not at all.
They meander, they get covered in these beautiful flowers. Of course, they're called marshmallow, and you can tell that from the colours of the flowers, and you will get all 3 of those colours, by the way. You're not choosing one, all 3 of those will be delivered to you. They're wildlife friendly, the pollinators absolutely adore them, and of course they are winter hardy as well, so they will be covered with our lifetime guarantee.
Yeah, but they really suit like a country cottage garden, a natural garden. They're beautiful. Mine's a deeper pink than that, but I actually like the marshmallow selection.
Yeah. It's a delicate colour combination, but it works beautifully. If you want to plant these sort of together, they will sort of meander into each other and look really complementary with those more pastel shades.
But as Bex said, they are relatively fast growing, so if you've got an area that you need to really fill quite quickly, then the Lavatera is a fantastic option. 511527. But if you have just joined us, a very, very good morning. Yes, good morning. Welcome to YouGarden TV. We've got so many great offers, but don't forget, free postage when you spend over £40.
Yes.
So try and get your order to over £40. We've got some great pots, we've got compost, we've got the propagator kits. Also, your free gift today is a fabulous magazine. Go on, Bex.
I got it. Right, so it is. So this is last week's one. It's the new one is so hot off the press, it hasn't arrived yet, but it is due today. It's arriving today. So your order will.
It's arrived at the other office, hasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, it's at the main office.
So your order will contain the new one. So if you placed your order last week and you got this magazine, and you're placing an order this week, you will get the new magazine. But it is garden news. It's the best-selling garden magazine. Loads of hints, tips, and inspiration included in here, and it's a free gift in your order today, as long as you use the code. So the free postage over 40, the free gift, all of the deals, the mix and match, the savings, the buy one get ones, they are all unlocked by using our special code. YGTV 3724 is this week's one.
And the code lasts about 3 weeks. Don't forget any streams that you've missed. Maybe you didn't see last week's, maybe you didn't see Sundays with Bex and Adam. They're all on our website, they're all on YouTube, and normally those offer codes are valid for about 3 weeks, as long as obviously the items in stock is available. And the best way of finding the extra shows is, don't click live now, because that'll take us to today. Click there, YouGarden TV. And then you can either watch it, if you go for the green one, that's live, the other one is catch up. And that shows Thursday. Sunday was you and Adam, of course. That was last week. So yes, you will see all of the previous shows. And so the offer codes normally last for round about 3 weeks in total. But sometimes it is nice if you miss a show just to see what was on and see what's still available. But they are all there for you to enjoy. And the great thing is, of course, if there's a bit that you're not interested in,
just fast forward.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Or if there's a bit that you think, oh, that was really interesting, you can watch it again. I do that, don't you?
Yeah, always.
Yeah. So you can. That's a great thing. I mean, in the old days, I remember when we got our first video recorder. That was life-changing. Do you remember? You're a bit younger than me,
remember the top loader.
Yeah.
and Mum not knowing how to do it, and we had to do it for her.
Yeah, and when it didn't record, when you set the time and it didn't record, it was devastating.
Or somebody recorded over your favourite show.
I know.
They were just trying to put a tape in to record something quick, and they recorded over your show.
I know. What do you mean I can't watch my latest episode of Dallas? What do you mean?
So many fights because they hadn't been labelled properly, and you've recorded over that.
I remember. But now it's great, isn't it? So you can... Anything that you miss, you can just say stream it at a later date. Anyway, we're going to move back to the deal of the year. We're calling it today.
Absolutely.
The Lobelia Speciosa Queen Victoria. All three of these perennials for £6.99, $6.29 for club members. You'd pay that for one, easily.
Oh, totally.
Easily. More than that. They're normally about £10 each, these.
These are just spectacular as well. When you see these in full bloom, full growth, these do draw your attention, not only because of the bright red flowers, but because they are contrasted so perfectly with that gorgeous dark purpley toned foliage that you've got there. Later flowering as well. So, of course, they'll come into life midsummer, brilliant, July, August time. They look amazing, but they keep going right the way through September and October. We say it a lot today when a lot of other things are fading, but that's because what we bring you is what's looking good in your garden right now, or what will look good in your garden right now, or what you should be doing in your garden right now. So in September and in October, these are going to be the standout ones.
And I remember my mum's got a friend called Terry. He's 92 and he only got into gardening the last 4 or 5 years, and he grew these last year in the front of his garden in full sun, and they looked amazing.
Yeah.
And he actually, he always says, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. He's very Yorkshire too. He goes, I won't do his voice, but he always he's from York, where I'm from. But honestly, I remember just driving up to his front garden, and they were just outstanding because they were really tall, and they're, these big sort of like tall spikes of red flowers, and as Bex said, against that foliage, they are incredible. We say hardy to -5, so you may need to get a little bit of protection. But they should come back for many, many years. But that is amazing. I'm definitely going to get those.
Yeah,
and I like
too.
your idea of putting them near my pampas.
Honestly, I saw a picture of it and it was the best combination.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it doesn't sort of gel in my head, but having seen it, it looks gorgeous.
I'm going to give it a go.
There you go.
Right, we've also got our miniature red hot pokers for you as well. I think it's just really cute. I love red hot poker, but the big ones can get a little bit messy.
Yeah.
The foliage can be a bit messy.
Well, these are going to stay a bit more compact. So we're talking about maybe, somewhere between 40, 50 centimetres in height. So not massive at all. And they're not going to spread too much widthways either. Maybe 40 centimetre spread here. But they're bright, hot, fiery colours, which is brilliant. Later flowering again as well. So sort of midsummer they'll come in, but then they'll keep going when a lot of other things are fading. Fully hardy, drought tolerant, again, ticking a lot of boxes. That one's beautiful. The graduation of colour that you get on them, I think, is what makes them quite stand out. And of course, the formation of the flower, it's quite unique, that kind of popsicle, It really does make it stand out in your garden.
It's a lovely fruity mix.
Fruity,
Papaya,
I like
orange,
that.
and mango. It's a fruity beauty.
Fruity beauty.
It is. They're lovely, and I'm trying to work out where I'd put those in my garden, but I think I'd definitely put them near the tropical plants.
Yeah, they do look. They've got a bit of a tropical feel to them, haven't they? I mean, think about it as far as garden designing is. I mean, if you want to, I just pop things in. But if you've got long gardens, the hot colours work well at the end because it brings it forward. So you can use these as ways to draw the eye, draw the attention.
But you know what, I'm thinking, yes, they do, for me, lend themselves to my tropical area, but I can imagine these in my mum's garden. Sometimes, even on a country cottage garden, putting something slightly unusual in there just spices it up.
I think they can work in so many different ones, because you can put them in a country cottage garden, but you could put these in just a sort of low-maintenance gravel garden and they would look amazing as well. So I think these are actually quite versatile. They work in a lot of different themes and styles.
And they would work in pots and containers. With them being compact and they're going to about 40 centimetres width wide, they work very well in pots and containers. Are you thinking of the blue ones?
Yes, that just came into my head. Put those in there, those hot fiery colours against that blue. Yes please.
That could really work, couldn't it?
Yeah, and one of those in there. I mean, it would spread eventually.
I'd put 3.
You'd go all 3, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah. I'd put all 3. You know what I'm like. Overplanting Shaun. No, I would that.
Once one of them grows to full size, it'd be fine in the one pot, but it'd look really lost until it's fully grown. So yeah, I'd do exactly the same, Shaun. I'd put all three in.
Yeah.
Dave sent us a picture, by the way, because he's got that pot. Can I show it quick, Stu, or no?
Hello, Dave. Morning. Is it morning?
He sent us a picture. He said he's got this pot, and look, that's it with his beautiful dahlia in. How pretty is that?
That looks fantastic, doesn't it?
It looks so good. Yeah. I love that blue colour. He sent us another picture. I can't remember if it's the same flower. Let me have a look. Look how pretty. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was just saying, Dave, I was at it was my garden club last night, and a gentleman called Andy Ashwin joined us, and he's a dahlia. What's the word I'm looking for? He's dahlia obsessed. He doesn't class himself as an expert, but he does grow about 150 varieties of dahlias on his allotment, and he grows them all from cuttings every year. And it was just fascinating. But he brought in all these amazing dahlias. And they were just incredible. So I'm a big fan of dahlias. You grew loads this year, didn't you?
I did grow loads this year, and I'm so happy with them. I love them.
They were all from YouGarden, weren't they?
They were all from YouGarden, and I'm going to look after them over the winter. So I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that I can have them again next year, because they're just brilliant. I love them.
But they work great in pots as well. So
Alison's just sent an email. Very happy. Wasn't expecting my delivery today, and here it is. Tulips, the purple ones, tulip and crocus mix, narcissus, white muscari, coreopsis, and of course she got her magazine in her box as well. So those have all been delivered. So Alison is very, very happy.
That's a nice selection.
That's a lovely selection. You can get planting now, can't you?
I bet you can't wait to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Thank you for your emails. If you do want to email us, it's ygtb@yougarden.com. We'll show any pictures or answer any questions that you want to ask or share.
I've got a few days off after today, and I just cannot wait to get in the garden. And the weather looks pretty good, actually. You know, not red hot, but perfect for gardening. I mean, this time of year is such a good time to get out there.
Yeah.
And to plant your spring bulbs, plant things like your perennials, your new perennials that we've got on the show, move things around as well. I mean, I've got a few things in the wrong place now that I've got too big. It is a brilliant time.
I've got a few jobs like that to do. My big Photinia, I've got to trim it this year, so I've got to get up on the ladders and do that as well. It's exciting, though, isn't it?
It is. It's a great time. Right, we've also got for you...
Oh, this is a great deal. So this is the Cottage Garden Perennials collection, but it's a buy one, get one free. So you will get a pack like this, which has got 12 plug plants in, but when you use the code YGTV3724, we're going to stick another pack into your box as well. So you're actually going to get 24 plug plants for the price of 12. £12.99 if you're not in the club, £11.69 if you are in the club. Now, I can't guarantee exactly which varieties you're going to get, but here is a very good representation of pretty much what you're likely to get in there. Let's go through them. You've got Coreopsis on this side. We've got Alchemilla. We've got Delphiniums. We've got Digitalis. This is the Dalmatian mix as well, so the ones with the lovely little spots in there. And down here, we've got Rudbeckia. We've got the Hollyhock, and this is the Chatus. This is the double petals one that we've got on there. We've got Geums. We've got Gaillardia here. We've got Shaun's favourite. We've got the Verbena bonariensis, Aquilegia. We've got Campanula, and we've also got Achillea included in there as well. So chances are you're going to get at least 10 of those varieties, if not all of those.
And if not, you'll still get great, gorgeous perennials. You know, you might get salvias, for example. But they will all be tried and tested. All you need to do is grow them on a little bit, and personally, I would grow them on in pots. There's just a danger when they're this sort of size, they could get lost in your beds and borders. So I'd pot them up in something that's at least 9 centimetres, and then plant them out in springtime where they're just a little bit more established.
Great root systems on those plants. I mean, look, just all of them very strong, very healthy.
And they really
Get those potted up, grow them on a bit, and then plant them out. Those are going to be absolutely amazing, and they're going to give you months and months worth of colour. That's a GM there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's going to give you months of colour, different shapes, different sizes. You're going to have wildlife-friendly ones included in there as well. You've got later flowering, earlier flowering. It's a brilliant mix. Love that one.
And again, working out about, what did I say, per plant? About...
I wasn't listening to you.
About 50p.
About 50p?
Yeah. It's just a little bit over 50p. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Right, we've also got garden-ready plants. Now, we do a variety of plug plants. here at YouGarden. But if you just want to go for something that's ready to go straight away in pots, containers, beds and borders, we have got the garden ready for you right now. And these are the primula. And when I say primula, the primlets are doubles. Yeah. So they're really pretty. They're not singles, they're doubles. So we said earlier, they're like little roses almost.
Yeah, they do. Each of the flowers, they do look like miniature roses here. Yeah. It's a rosebud primrose, so they do look just like mini roses. It's all about getting that late winter colour. So you've got these lovely sort of... Stu laughed at me, but I do think it looks like cabbage-like foliage, and I really like it. It's deep green, but it's the reason I point it out is it's the perfect backdrop for those flowers. It really does sort of nestle those flowers in there, and it just highlights them beautifully. They're compact, they're low-growing, they work in pots, beds, borders. You could even probably grow these on windowsills indoors as well. So it's a proper all-rounder plant, and of course it's perennial as well. So you know you will be able to dig these up. You will be able to divide them and spread them around your garden as well. And all they take is a little bit of deadheading.
And fully winter hardy, of course. So fully winter hardy. The one thing they don't like is being waterlogged. So if it's a really wet winter again, just make sure that the crowns are not sitting in water, because that could cause a bit of rotting. But generally speaking, primulas are so easy to grow, and all you get is bigger and bigger clumps that you can divide. But the fact that they're doubles, that's what makes this selection really, really special. 410197 at just £12.99. And then the other ones that we've got that are garden ready are the polyanthus, the spring fever mix. And these are ones where you get the stems with all the flowers on the top. But again, fully winter hardy. They're going to give you all of that autumn and winter and spring colour, and they're going to be with you for many, many years to come. Yeah. They're, to me, the spring fever, they're the colours that I love when you've got things like your daffodils coming up and your crocus.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're just some of the best polyanthus around. Honestly, all you're going to do is deadhead these to encourage them to come through. Prolific flowering displays every single year. This is the beautiful thing about this, because it's a really reliable, hardy, perennial plant. You know, you can have these in your garden for years and years. And again, you can divide these as they get into larger clumps and just spread those around. I mean, they're in flower now, but they're really going to get going by the end of October and in November time, particularly if you get them planted now. And they will keep going through the winter and into early spring for you too.
And don't forget when we say garden ready, it's exactly that.
Yeah.
Look at those. I mean, they're just really well grown.
So well grown.
And the thing is, the ridiculous thing is, I mean, to send them like this in the trays really, really works. But if that was in a 9 centimetre pot, which you could easily do straight away, you could be talking, I would say, at least £1.50 a plant, but maybe even more.
Yeah.
Maybe even £2 a plant in certain garden centres. Maybe even more, actually. But to send them like this just saves you so much money, but they are big enough to go straight in the ground and straight in your pots, containers and your hanging baskets. I am getting excited. I'm going to make some, next week I'm going to make up some of my autumn baskets.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why not? Get on it.
Well, a few of mine have definitely started to go over.
I need to order some more compost, actually. I'm down to my last half bag, so I definitely need to get a compost order in.
Well, don't forget, if you need compost, get it today. It's a really busy time for compost here at YouGarden, 410012. And then don't forget, we also brought you the Pansy Cool Wave. And this, for me personally, and I'm sure Bex agrees, the best performing pansy that you can imagine. The breeding with Cool Wave is incredible. So this is like a semi-trailing pansy. It cascades beautifully. It flowers for 10 months of the year. So it will actually flower every month, with the exception of July and August, which just die down a bit. So if you plant them right now, imagine you're going to get colour September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 10 months of colour. And you can even get these to come back next year. Just when they'll start to get a bit leggy in the height of summer, they'll start to stop flying, cut them right back, put them in a shady area, give them a good feed, and they will bounce back in the autumn time. But it's a buy one, get one free, 409.67. Then one of my favourites, the evergreens, known as Mexican fleabane or sea of blossom. So this is a ground cover plant. Can spread up to a metre, it will grow in the poorest of conditions. So I've seen these growing out of steps and walls and things like that, gravel gardens. And the lovely thing is, when the flowers first come out, they're white, but as they age, they go into a lovely kind of pink, and they'll start off pale and then go even deeper. So always changing, but it's flowers en masse with evergreens, sea of blossom. You will get thousands of flowers, and it comes back every single year. You can really be quite harsh with it, cut it right back in late autumn, but it will bounce back no problem next spring. 410120 for the evergreen sea of blossom. Now, we also brought you some beautiful echinaceas today, and this is the Papalo orange variety. So big flowers, beautiful cones in the centre, which again really attract the pollinators. When the flowers age, the petals kind of reflex, so they just bend backwards to reveal that big cone in the centre. And again, it's a hardy perennial that will come back for many, many years to come. And you can divide these to form big clumps. Again, after 3 or 4 years, you might well want to divide them as well. 560, 895 at just £10.99. Now, if you really want to save money with our autumn and winter bedding, go for our Pro Plugs. We've just put some new video content online, just explaining how you grow these on the different types of plugs that we sell. But these are the best value. You get 60 for £12.99, working out pennies per plant. And each one of these, in just a few weeks, will produce a really big, strong plant that is fully winter hardy, that again will flower all through those autumn, winter, spring months as well. Just keep deadheading. But I love the flowers on Bellis. They're really, really pretty, aren't they? You look at those lovely colours as well, like pinks and crimsons and whites, a gorgeous selection. And it's 410163. Then we've got some violas for you. Now, violas are miniature pansies, basically. So, not as big as a pansy, but you get more flowers. And these are the Valentina mix. So you've got some beautiful lilac-y colours, you've got yellows, you've got burnt oranges in here as well. And they are another true performer in the winter months. They'll just keep flowering and flowering and flowering. 60 of those for just £12.99. 401154 is the item number. And then also we have got the Dianthus gems. Again, these are going to arrive as Pro Plugs. 60 of them. And all you need to do is do a little bit of growing on. So repot them. We've got the propagator kit, don't forget, on the show, and you will save an absolute fortune. That works out, think about this in terms of value. For club members, it works out less than 20 pence a plant. So all of the Pro Plugs today for club members, less than 20 pence a plant, which is just phenomenal value for money. And that's 401164 for the Dianthus gems. I like the colour though, because I can see lots of gemstones there, can't you? Rubies and diamonds and all sorts in there, but gorgeous, gorgeous colours. Now, something else that you've probably spotted on our show and on the website right now is the basket starters with root grow. Now, these are basically nutrient discs. They are only £5.99, and they are a brilliant way of basically ensuring that when you plant up your hanging baskets, they're going to get all the correct nutrients that they could possibly need. So it's a brilliant sort of slow release system, and it just gives you that extra feed. And the reason why we really recommend these for hanging baskets, when you tend to put a lot of plants in the hanging baskets, so they're all fighting for food. And what these do is, as you water the basket, they release all of those fabulous, fabulous nutrients to really get everything off to a cracking start. So plants get very, very hungry in hanging baskets. And you've even got, which is really important, you've got the mycorrhizal fungi in there, which is a fantastic fungus that really develops that secondary root system so quickly. So it gets your baskets off to the absolute best start possible. And you get 12 discs there. Depending on the size of the basket, some baskets may just need 1 disc, some you might want to put 3 in there, 2 or 3, just depends on the size of the basket and actually how many plants you're putting in there as well. 100,044. And then compost, our best selling product and our highest rated at YouGarden is our premium professional compost, and we have actually got free delivery on this as well. So you get 100 litres delivered absolutely free of charge. And that does make a difference. I mean, buying compost is never easy when you go to the garden centres. I don't know about you, Bex, but every store that I ever go to right now, it seems like there's no staff. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like, there's just no staff.
Do you know what? Don't get me started on customer service at the moment. As you know, I've had a slight issue with it.
Yes.
Just being able to speak to a person, or just be treated like a human being. It's a struggle, isn't it? And yes, you're right. When you go to a shop, you have to wait for it, because every company's cut down on the amount of people, and it's so frustrating.
I went to one of the big sort of DIY come garden stores last week just to buy. There's actually some new solar lights, and do you know what? I got to the tills, nobody. And there was one lady, and she was over at customer services. So I'm thinking, well, do I go there to pay? So I started to take my basket over there, and she said, oh no, love, I'll be over there in a minute. Well, there was only her, bless her. And this complaint or whatever she was dealing with this customer took
ages.
Took ages.
Which you would do.
There was nobody there. Yes, we're having a rant, we're having a moan. But we deliver your compost free of charge, and you don't need to worry about any of that.
No. Straight to your door.
And I think compost is one of the worst things to buy in any garden centre, because you've got to get it yourself.
It's always kept outside, so if it's been raining, the bag is wet and dirty, obviously. So, but that's, if you're not in your gardening gear, that's a bit annoying, isn't it?
And you've picked the bag that's got the rip in it that you only discover when you're about to put it in your car. Oh no, it's not an easy thing to buy, and it's a lot of work for you to get it from the pallet, put it on your trolley that's got the dodgy wheel, go to the checkout and there's nobody there, and then put it in your car, discover you've got a rip in it, and yeah.
And then you've got to get the vacuum out when you get home to clean it all up.
So we deliver it absolutely free of charge, but this isn't any compost. This is the one that we use at the nursery, and we have done for many, many years. We grow hundreds of thousands of bare root roses in this compost. We make up tens of thousands of hanging baskets in this compost. Whenever we're planting things up from a 1 litre to a 2 litre to a 3 litre pot, we use this compost. Houseplants, I love this compost. I've recently repotted quite a few of mine, because sometimes with houseplants you buy it, looks great, and then 2 years later, that houseplant's not looking that good, but it's been stuck in the same compost for those 2 years. So yeah, it's a brilliant compost for pretty much everything that you do in your garden and in your home as well. Stu, who's in charge of technical, he's just repotted a lot of his houseplants in these.
That's it. That's what I've been doing with mine, gradually working around, changing all of my houseplants over into this. And it's because it's incredibly free draining, okay? Because of the texture of this, it does mean that it does have this great texture. For the majority of your plants to live in, houseplants included, it's got a slow release fertiliser in there. So your plants aren't relying on you remembering to feed them. There is one in there. It lasts a good 5 to 6 months. After then, you've got to remember to feed them. But at least there's that insurance policy in there as well, and it's got loads of brilliant ingredients. Quite simple formula, but a brilliant list.
Well, the composted wood fibre, that's about 50% of the formulation, and it is composted to such a brilliant level. So you see here, the texture is amazing. There's no big twigs in there, there's no lumps, and that smooth, even texture means that all of those delicate roots, they're going to find the nutrients that they need. They're going to find the water that they need. They're going to find the right amount of oxygen that they need. So that composted wood fibre is absolute premium quality, and that makes up about 50% of the compost.
Yeah, we've got peat in here, so there's dark and light peats in here. Those aren't renewable, but we've reduced the amount of them. Minimum amount, maximum results. But we've also got sphagnum moss peat in here, which is brilliant because that is a renewable source. And for things like, for example, Venus flytraps, you don't necessarily need to get a specialist compost because they want sphagnum moss, and sphagnum moss is in here.
And we have, and obviously we are cutting down on the use of peat, but we have used peat since time began. And I think certain plants do still really struggle with peat-free. Yeah. My tomatoes did this year. They were just constantly dry. I grew half in peat-free and half in this compost, and yeah, the ones in this compost they do so much better. I'm just being honest. Now, you've also got in here a pH buffer, and that basically creates the perfect pH balance for pretty much all plants. The only exceptions are the acid-loving ones. They need ericaceous compost, things like rhododendrons, camellias, blueberries. But actually, we don't have any of those on the show today.
No, nothing is ericaceous today. So everything that you are investing in today on the show, get yourself some compost because it'll work great with it.
And can I just say, it's brilliant for your bulbs. I don't believe in specialist bulb compost personally.
No.
I don't.
Do you know what? I mean, yeah, bulbs or any of the plants, and particularly the little, because we were talking about, roots being able to get through. If we're talking about the pro plugs, for example, because these are smaller plants, those roots need space. They need room to be able to grow. And in this compost, because of the texture that we've got there, those roots are going to be able to work their way out. On the smaller, less established plants, this is a great compost.
And the results you get in terms of stronger root systems, which means stronger shoots, more flowers, more fruits, better harvests, it makes such a difference. We believe that this actually makes you a better gardener instantly.
Stu says you're going to be top of the crops.
I like that.
I love it. Made me laugh.
Do you know, I was watching an old episode of Top of the Pops.
I love Top of the Pops.
But I mean, you forget everyone mind.
They did.
Yeah.
They all did.
Not all the time, but for a lot of the time.
It was the event of the week, though, wasn't it? When Top of the Pops was on.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Did you know I used to work on Top of the Pops, Bex?
No! Did you?
Yeah, seriously.
You've never talked about that.
Well, I was only... Your husband will know what this is. I was a cable basher on
Yeah.
there. So basically, I did the job for about 3 years. It was a brilliant job because you got to see all the acts. But
that's so cool.
It was really good. But you used to have to protect the crowd from like the handheld cameras, the cables, but also there was lots of overhead ones that swooped on, so you'd have to protect their heads. And occasionally I was the warm-up guy to get the crowd going.
No way.
Yeah, and it was brilliant. You just get all,
I always wanted to go on Top of the Pops. It was my dream.
Honestly, and I got that. I got paid for being there.
Amazing.
But I was my job was quite menial, but yeah. But it's great. It's so good, and you wouldn't know who was going to be on until you arrived for work.
That is so cool.
And it was like David Bowie was there once when I was on, and he looked amazing. Yeah, Kylie Minogue was there, Robbie Williams. Yeah, I was very lucky, and I got the job purely. It was like by a fluke, really.
Oh, you've had a charmed life. You have. I'm so jealous.
It was really good.
Charmed life.
It was good. I've never mentioned it because it was like, anyway. So yeah, I was very lucky. Anyway, we digress. We're talking plants. We're not talking Top of the Pops.
Big thank you to anybody who is watching who is brand new today. We love having your company. There are some new names in the orders, so it's lovely to see you. I hope you'll come back and join us in future. We are here twice a week for YGTV. We're here on Thursday and we're here on Sunday mornings from 10 o'clock. If you fancy it and you're on TikTok, we're also starting to do TikTok shows as well.
We are.
And we're going to be doing those 3 times a week. So Tuesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. Not this week, but those weeks. But Shaun, you're going to do it this afternoon, aren't you?
Yes.
I did it on Tuesday afternoon.
So it's 2 till 4 on a Tuesday, 2 till 4 on a Thursday.
No, we're changing the time slightly. 1 till 3 on a Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
You're doing 2 o'clock today.
I'm 2 till 4 today.
We'll sort the times out. But
Sunday,
we're going to do it 3
Sunday's
times
2
a week.
till 4 is, I think it was 2 till 4.
We're going to see. We haven't started those yet.
But anyway.
But if you're on TikTok, do tune in for those as well.
Yeah.
Roger's been joining us. Roger joins in on YGTV and he's come to join us on TikTok
Right,
too.
so it's my turn for TikTok
too.
this afternoon. I mean, it's really fast, I'll warn you.
It is. It's fast and furious.
It's a bit ad hoc, I will say. We do a different mix though. We've got houseplants this afternoon. We've got some gorgeous spiral olives. So, yeah, but all you need to do, because I mean, I didn't do a lot of TikTok. You do a lot more than me. Bex does her own show and stuff on TikTok. But just download TikTok on your apps.
Yeah, find YouGarden.
Yeah,
find
easy.
Bex Edwards My Garden, because I do lives from my page. We also do lives from the YouGarden page. So find us on there.
It's easy.
And you'll enjoy those. What were you going to say, Stu? About
so yeah, do join. I'm by myself this afternoon. It's just me and Stu. So yes, do join us. We'll have a bit of fun.
Why not?
Yes.
Hello. Oh, encourage you to join the club. Yes, okay, you must join the club. Absolutely, the club is a very, very important thing to join. Can you see these two prices you can see on the screen here? Look, there's one in yellow that says $22.48, and there's one in red that says $24.98.
There's a big difference there.
I quite like that price.
I like the yellow price.
I like that price more than that price, right? If you want to get that price, it's the club that you need to be joining. So for the existing viewers, ignore me right now, but for the newer viewers, you need to know this piece of information. So it's the auto renewal that we are looking at. It's £5 to join the club. If you want a 1-year membership, it'll cost you £10. It will lapse at the end of that year. That's fine if that's what you want to do. But I would recommend going for the £5 one, because after a year, if you don't want to be a member anymore, just cancel it before it renews. We're not tying you in at all, and it'll only cost you £5 rather than 10. You'll get 10% discount off of everything that you're seeing in the potting shed today. So plants, pots, accessories, compost. You can get 5% off a load of other things that are on the website, like lawn mowers and things like that. You can shop the entire website as well. You'll get 10% off those other things on the website. Plus, you're going to get £20 worth of YouGarden vouchers to spend throughout the year as well. That will come out to you in your welcome pack. But you can start saving today on your first order. All you have to do is click yes to joining the club.
Honestly, I cannot think of a single reason why you would not join the club.
No, absolutely.
And I mean this. And we joined when we first started working for YouGarden TV just over a year ago. We both joined. And we'd worked on another shopping channel and we had no idea about this discount.
No, we didn't
club.
know this existed.
We joined, it was like, well, hang on, what do you mean I get 10% off every time we order? So we joined it. We've just renewed.
Yeah, my pack came through the other day. It's all there.
So I've got £20 worth of vouchers sat on my kitchen side, and I can use them this week, and you can use them on separate orders, but you can do it all in one day, it doesn't matter. But it's like getting £20 worth of cash back. And there's not like a maximum spend or a minimum spend either. So,
no.
Yeah, I'm not being funny, but if you want to use one of your £5 vouchers against the lobelia, so the only thing you can't use it against is postage. So you couldn't buy something for, say, $2.99 then that had the postage as well on it. But
yeah.
It's like getting £20 worth of cash back, and all you're spending is £5 today. It is the best club I think I've ever joined.
Yeah, definitely. I've saved so much money on being part of this club. Yeah. If you spend a lot of money on gardening, definitely get in the club. Definitely. And if you think about it, with the compost that we just showed you, one order of compost, being a member of the club, you save about £2.50. So if you order 2 lots of compost, 100 litres, you've paid for your club membership with just those 2 items.
I mean,
so then everything else is gravy.
And it
gravy,
is
baby.
Lovely to see those savings add up. And you can still use those vouchers against other special offers and things like that. It's honestly, it is brilliant. So promises, if you're not a member, join the club today. Right, we are going to move back to our 3 for 2 mix and match. So we've got 7 different varieties of bulbs. You can mix and match any of them, so you can go for different ones. You can go for 3 of the same, 2 of the same, 1 of the one, but you will get the 3rd one free. So you get 3 for the price of 2.
Yep.
And we've both got our eye on the white mascara.
I love the idea of the white mascara. I've got the purple grape hyacinth, and that is beautiful. I love it so much. It reminds me of my nan. She just had it all over her garden, and it created this gorgeous carpet of colour. So it's special memories there. But I love mascara because it spreads vigorously and creates that carpet, but then it tidies up after itself. It's not one of those spring bulbs that takes ages to disappear and looks a bit shabby towards the end. It just sort of pops up and then it goes away neatly and tidily. But mixing in the white with the purple will just make it a real standout. I wouldn't plant them separately, although to be honest, even if you do plant them separately, because they're vigorous and they will spread, they'll probably mix in anyway.
I wonder why
I'd pop a few in amongst the purples.
I wonder why we just don't see the white as often as the purple.
I don't know.
We don't. But they're great under trees as well. They have a bit of a woodland bulb, so they're absolutely fine in slightly shadier spots as well. But yes, leave them in the ground. They will just naturalise. You'll get more and more and more. But that's one of the 3 for 2 in the mix and match. And then,
here's the one we're going for. This is definitely the favourite. I know you all went crazy for it last year. I'm just going to grab the pictures again.
If you just joined us, Bex and I meant to order the Caribbean Lily last year. And
we're just stupid. We forgot. We didn't get round
to it. No, I think it's sold out.
No, I think we delayed. We were like, well, I'll get that. And then when we went to get it, it was gone. And then we just waited too long.
Then in springtime, everyone started sending these images like, oh, thanks, Shaun and Bex, my Caribbean lilies are amazing.
Yeah, this is from George. This is George's picture he sent in. Honestly, we were so jealous when all these pictures came. April, May time, these are going to flower. These gorgeous large clusters, beautiful dark blue, purple colours, and they're just stunning. Here's Malcolm's one. Here's his picture that he sent to us of his Caribbean lily. And this is beautiful, the way that these open. So it shows you how it gradually opens from the outside inwards.
I keep looking at these and say we describe it on our website as a cross between a hyacinth and an allium. I agree sort of with that, but it's just so much more exotic, isn't it?
So much more exotic.
Look at that.
That's Anthony's. So this looks like a, professional photo, a marketing picture, doesn't it? Yeah. But it isn't. This is Anthony's photo. This is a customer picture, and that is what you can have in your garden with this. It is a pack of 3 bulbs. So I know we've got packs that have got 30 bulbs in, and this has got 3 in. It's worth it though. It is worth it.
Yeah, but also they're big bulbs when you see them.
They're big. Okay, so with these, you do want to plant them a little bit shallower. They're not open. I'm going to open one. You do want to plant these a little bit shallower. So what we say with bulbs is that normal rule is you're going to plant them 2 to 3 times the depth of the height of the bulb, which means if you were doing that, you'd plant it probably about that deep. But actually not with the Caribbean lily. These want to be a little bit shallower. So basically the tip of the bulb just needs to be sort of just below the surface of the soil.
And that's how they grow naturally in their own home countries. So just make sure, like all the bulbs on the show, they don't end up waterlogged. Make sure they've got good drainage. But imagine, so like April, May, when those flower. And I'm definitely, we are both going to grow those this year. We're not going to miss out another time. But we are busy, and you might even, because it's a 3 for 2, you might even just want to go for 3 packs.
I'd go 3 packs of that, and then I'd go another 3 pack where I'm going to mix things up. Yeah. So I'm going to get 3 of those, and then I'm going to do another 3 pack where I'm getting the muscari, the fritillaria, and one other. I don't know which one yet. What
was interesting, all the view images that came in of the Caribbean lily, people had just planted them normally by themselves, and I agree with that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, they're so striking, aren't they?
This is not a mix and match. No, sorry, it is in the mix and match, but I don't think you want to mix this with other bulbs. You don't want to do a lasagna planting with this one. Other ones, yes, not this. This is stand out on its own.
I'm so excited about that. I really are. We're both really, really charged about that one.
I might do what you said in the blue planter. I might get a pack of those and put them all in that blue planter.
Yeah. I mean, this is such an exciting time. Buy them now, get them planted, and next April and spring, you are going to have Caribbean lilies growing in the UK, and that is 630045. Absolutely amazing. Now, the fritillaria is next, or the snakeheads, as these are known. Now, haven't grown these. They look like they're going to be hard work. And let's be honest, you look at those and think,
they look a bit exotic.
They do. They look like they're going to be trouble in the UK. But RHS Award of Garden Merit.
RHS Award of Garden Merit, yeah, absolutely. So definitely garden worthy. They've trialled it, they've tested it. It's met all of that specific criteria, and it's been awarded that incredible Garden Merit Award. They're remarkably hardy as well, like completely winter hardy, no issues here. Really versatile, because these could go into borders, but it would look great in, a bunch of these in a pot on their own. It is perennial, so it'll come back for you year after year. Usual rules apply, just let it die back down naturally, and all the goodness will go back into the bulb so that you can have that display for years on end. And just the way they've got those nodding flowers and those wonderful patterns.
Yeah, I might try those this year as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to get those ones.
I think it's always good to try new varieties, new ideas in the garden. Yes, you can always put your bankers and your favourites in there, but it's always exciting, isn't it, when you're growing something new for the first time.
Something a bit different, yeah.
And they really are. Now, we have got something a bit more classic and traditional. We've got the mixed daffodil collection coming up next. And I love these because if you actually look closely at the image, there are so many different types of narcissus in here. So lots of different colours, creams and yellows and oranges, different trumpets in the centre. These are full-size ones, so do bear that in mind. They are going to go fairly tall, so great for your beds and your borders. Don't forget, with most bulbs, the general rule is once they've flowered, let them die down naturally. That refeeds the bulb. The worst thing you can do is just chop everything back to make it look neat and tidy, because that will probably mean the bulb will not flower well the following year. So leave them in the ground, let them die down naturally, or if you can't be bothered to wait for them to die down, grow them in pots and containers, and then just put that pot somewhere where you can't see it as they grow down. That's what I do. I put them behind my greenhouse.
Yeah, it's a great way of doing it, isn't it?
I mean, some people tie the leaves up and things, but again, there's mixed sort of like reviews with that, whether it's good. So let them die down naturally. But for me, March, this is the month that daffodils flower, around about Mother's Day. It is a joyous month. When you see the daffodils in full bloom in March, it's like spring is definitely here. Yeah,
they're just a British favourite, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are definitely what we... If you would say spring flowering bulb, the first one you come up with is daffodil.
I think it would be.
I think so.
Yeah, I think you'd
say... If you asked 100 people to name a spring flowering bulb...
Yes, I'd say daffodil one.
Top answer.
I'd probably say tulip second, would you?
Yeah, probably.
And then maybe crocus or snowdrop?
Crocus.
Yeah.
Because I think snowdrop's winter.
Too early.
Too early.
Yeah, that's the order I think it'd go in.
Let's get on Family Fortunes and see what happens.
Yeah. It's probably been a question on Family Fortune. But we have also got crocus for you. These have been really popular, and these are the large flowered crocus. And I love my snowdrops, absolutely adore snowdrops. But when those crocus come through, when you get the first big splashes of colour, it is amazing. And what I like up there, some crocus bulbs, some of the ones I grew last year were lovely but quite small flowered. These are the big, large ones.
Yeah, so really going to stand out, no matter where you're planting them, in pots, in borders, or maybe even as drifts through your lawn. They are definitely going to be gorgeous standout varieties. And of course, they will naturalise as well. Wherever you plant them, as long as you're letting them die back down naturally, they will reflower for you and multiply over the years. And if you've got some purples, look, that's a marriage made in heaven right there.
And crocus bulbs, because they're fairly small bulbs, they are so easy to plant. I literally just use my finger to create a little hole, pop the bulb in there, and they really do look after themselves. And actually, in terms of bulbs dying down, again, crocus bulbs, the foliage is quite neat, so when they die down, you don't get annoyed with lots of leaves everywhere. But February, which is the most miserable month, February and January, they are going to give you that little bit of joy, aren't
Absolutely, every single year. That's the beautiful thing.
Apparently this year's a leap year.
It was this year. It was a leap year. We had an extra day this year, didn't we?
Oh, we did.
It was so long ago. It was this year, right? Yeah. It was so long ago, we can't remember.
It's the even numbers, isn't it? Yeah, 24.
Oh, it's always the Olympics year. That's how you need to remember it. Whenever there's an Olympics, it's a leap year.
Who needs an extra day in February?
Oh, no, thank you.
No, thanks. Anyway, you do need crocus for February, and they are 600,084. So remember, there are 7 items on the show in the mix and match. We have got the gladioli for you, which are absolutely stunning. They're this gorgeous kind of cerise pink, and it's the gladiolus byzantinus at just £9.99. Going to go sort of like mid-size, 6-7 centimetres. Look absolutely amazing with these fabulous cerise-coloured flowers at £9.99. Club discount price is £8.99. Now the other choice that we have got for you is the Dutch Iris mixed collection as well, and you get an amazing 100 bulbs. Now, if you do out the maths for just the iris alone, you're not actually talking 9p a bulb, because if you bought 3 packets, you get a third off in essence. So we are talking crazy prices. I always think iris look like they look like little birds, like exotic birds. They look beautiful in clumps, great en masse, and one of the most beautiful bulbs that you can plant. 600,212. Now, we have talked about bulb planting, and it's easy. However, if you really are short of time, or maybe you're like my mum. My mum's got bad dexterity. She can't easily get down on her knees to plant things or anything like that. We have got the easiest solution for you right now. This is the deal of the week. We've saved it for the last half hour of the show. And for club members, £17.99. And I cannot believe what you get here.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. So you get the window box. You get your bag of compost.
20-litre bag.
And you get your planter mats.
Yep. Included, all of it, £19.99. And the beautiful thing with this plant mat, okay, so I've just taken it out of the cover box there, but what you'll get in there are all of those flowers. You can see them on that side there, look. So we've got in there, we've got the tulip, we've got tete-a-tete, we've got some other narcissus included in there, we've got crocus, we've got muscari, and I can't read the other ones.
Is the an oxalis there?
I can't read it, but yeah, I was just looking at the pictures and the ones I could recognise.
I'll get my close-up's not bad.
Get your close-up eyes out.
Oh, there's the tete-a-tetes in there as well.
Nice.
Yes.
And they've all been perfectly spaced, okay? So this is about getting that designer look where they're positioned perfectly, the right spacing, the right depth. Somebody's done it for you.
There's a white scilla in there, so that's all I'm going to say.
A scilla, thank you. So rather than just putting them in a pot and hoping for the best, somebody has worked out exactly what should go where. And what you'll get, because they won't all pop up all at exactly the same time, but you'll get a crossover and it'll be a lovely meandering mix all the way through the pot.
Bex, we planted one of these during a show last year.
We did.
Forgot all about it.
Yep.
Shoved it outside, and then suddenly we walked past one day and it was like,
oh, look at that.
And it looked amazing.
We brought it in here, didn't we, on some shows? We did do one last week. We planted this up. It's really easy to do. So with your compost, you're going to put a layer in the bottom of there. Then you're going to take this out, and then you're going to pop this in on top of that compost. And then you're going to put your compost on top. You don't need to worry about taking the bulbs out of here, because this is biodegradable, so it's just going to break down in the compost. What you might want to do, it's not you don't really have to, but you might just want to go through them and make sure that the bulbs are pointing upwards, you know, pointy side up. But to be honest, if they're on their side, there's a few on this side, look, these, which I think are tulips. They're on their side. Don't worry, nature will find a way. Other than that, just put them straight in.
It's easy.
Put your compost on the top, water it in, and then sit back and wait. That's it, done.
The value, when you look at the price there, particularly club members, $17.99, the window box you're going to have for years.
Yep.
You've got stunning bulbs, and you're getting 20 litres of compost. And that is only going to cost you $17.99 for club members. And that will give you several months of magnificent colour. And so we planted one of these up last year, and it just took our breath away.
It was so
it's
pretty.
Gorgeous. And it went on for months, didn't it?
It's about the colours, the variety, combinations, but also where they've been positioned, and it's not something we've all got the natural ability to do. Somebody who's really in the know has perfectly spaced those where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, yes, they're going to be the correct depth, but you're right, it's all the spacing, because there weren't any gaps. I just remember when the bulbs came up, it was just
one after the next, after the
amazing.
next. It was amazing.
So, yes, that is the deal of the week. We held it back for you. You might easily want to go for a couple of those. It will still be under £40, so don't forget, add something else to your order, get your order to over £40 and you will get free postage. You do need to use today that offer code, which is YGTV 3724, and you will also get your free magazine. So this was last year, wasn't it?
This is Peter, this is our head gardener planting one up.
Doing some work.
Oh, steady, he's back off holiday.
I'm sure.
You'll get in trouble.
Hang on, let me rephrase that.
So look, you just pop it in and then, you know, put your compost over the top there. I'd firm it down just a little bit, make sure you're filling in any of the gaps in there, but you don't have to worry too much. Once you water it in, that will naturally fill in any of the gaps and get rid of any little air pockets in there. Maybe just give it a tap down and you're done. That's it, the end. Water it, wait.
That is brilliant.
So simple, so quick and easy.
You've actually, once you've done it, there's no reason why you can't just put this to one side and it will fly again the next year.
Just leave it, yeah. You might put an extra layer of fresh compost over the top just to top it up, but ultimately that is it. It is that easy to do.
And
I think it's a good gift for somebody as well, actually, because it's a ready-made, you're giving them everything that they need. That'd be a lovely gift to give.
And actually, if you've got children or grandchildren or you're just trying to get them into gardening, that would be a brilliant way of giving them an introduction to bulb planting, but making it nice and easy. You know, even young children could do that, couldn't they? So it is the deal of the week. It is only $17.99 for club members, $19.99 if you're not. But you've got all the muscari, different crocuses, tulips, daffodils, narcissi in there. The scilla, a stunning variety of really well-known bulbs that's going to give you months and months of colour. Now also got an Acer for you, and this is the Pomatum Taylor, one of our favourites. I know you were on the nursery checking these out recently, weren't you?
I was. I still don't have this variety. I've got lots of others. I still don't have this one, and it is a really beautiful variety.
Well, now your club membership has been renewed and you've got £20 worth of vouchers, you could use one of the £5 ones.
Definitely use one on this, couldn't I?
Well, here's Bex on the nursery checking out the Acer Pomatum.
Hello there, YGTV viewers. For any of you that know me, you know I am 100% in my happy place right now. We are in the tunnel where we keep all of the beautiful Acers, and we've come to have a look at our gorgeous Acer Taylor. This is the one in the 3-litre pot. The guys have got one in the studio as well. I think it's one of the most stunning varieties of Acer that we have, because you've got creams, you've got greens, you've got these beautiful pink-coloured leaves on here. And Acers are just so easy to look after. They're fully winter hardy. They really don't need any of that extra winter protection. And they only ask those two things of you: put me in dappled shade and put me in a nice sheltered position, somewhere not too windy. If you do that, you will have these for decades. Decades of joy you'll get out of them. And of course, they're nice and slow growing as well. So over the years, you'll be able to go on that journey with them and watch them grow. Plant them out into borders if you want to, or keep them as a stunning pot plant. That's what I do with mine. Mine are all coming with me if I ever move home.
Oh, I tell you, we're both talking, we both need that Acer, the Pomatum Taylor.
We both
really
need it, don't we, in our lives?
Now, we've also got, where are you? There you are.
Hello.
We've got these amazing pots, don't forget, on the show. You get two for £24.99. It's a ceramic look, large mottle blue planter. We think these look absolutely fantastic. And if you double up, you get your second one for a £5, basically. Yeah. And I know you'd swear they were ceramic, but they're not. They've just got this lovely glaze. So they're lightweight, they're frost-proof, they're UV resistant, they last years. They are really well designed and made. But they're never going to break, very unlikely to ever break these. They're going to be lightweight so you can move them around, but they are going to withstand pretty much all temperatures, all winters, all hot summers. We did point out one drainage hole in the bottom. I mean, you have got the little
channels,
so I think they'll be all right in terms of drainage.
Yeah, probably. Look, I would definitely, if you're going to leave just one drainage hole in the bottom, I would definitely put a good layer of, broken pots or gravel in the bottom there. Make sure you add the extra drainage. But I'm going to get these, and do you know what? I am going to drill a few extra holes in the bottom there. It's super easy with a plastic pot, but if you're not confident with the drill, just get a good layer of gravel in the bottom. That'll help with the drainage.
And the only reason we're saying that is because, as we all know, the climate has got wetter in the UK. The wet seasons seem to last a lot longer, so it's just that extra bit of advice and caution.
All those floods that we had earlier on in the year? Like, we just want to make sure, don't we?
I remember walking into the nursery, and do you remember like the puddles and puddles on the actual entrance? Yeah, so just most plants hate being waterlogged. Bulbs definitely hate being waterlogged, so yeah, you might want to just put, say, a bit of extra drainage in there, or some grit of gravel.
Pots.
I am. They just look amazing, don't they?
These are definitely going into my basket. I love them.
And I think if you saw one of those pots in a garden centre at £24.99, you think you're getting a really good deal. But two on YouGarden TV right now at just £24.99. And again, you would get, if you're a club member, you would get 10% off the £24.99, so you get these for about £22.50. Now, what we've popped in here, we've popped in the Photinia, the red robin, because we have got standard versions of these available on the show right now. When we say standard, we talk about that lovely tall stem and then this big ball of colourful foliage on the top. And what I love about Photinia is that they look good all year round.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah. And particularly when the new growth starts to come through and you get this beautiful, blazing, bright red colour. I mean, you do get new growth happening throughout the entire year, to be honest with you, but it's really in springtime, isn't it? Sort of March time. I remember looking at my Photinia. I haven't got the little red robin, I've got a big one. I remember looking at it at the start of the year, about March, and the bright, blazing red colour, which was so welcome at that time of year. It was beautiful. Then you get these gorgeous flowers coming through, these clusters of these white flowers on there, and the fragrance on them is quite incredible as well. The smell is beautiful. The flowers tidy themselves up quite easily on their own, and it's just a gorgeous all-round, year-round, beautiful plant.
And again, pretty much bone hardy. You know, they're not There's nothing about a Photinia that's hard
Even
work.
in exposed areas as well. I mean, obviously with it being a standard, just be careful because you don't want it to blow over. But basically, even in your garden where you get gales blowing,
I mean, I live in the middle of a field basically, and it's a challenging garden because of these strong winds. But yeah, the Photinias, I mean, they just have done brilliantly. And they've never, ever kind of been scorched by the winds. They've never, ever looked sad. So it's pretty hard to go wrong with a Photinia. But it's just really nice to see that unusual standard. So to get that lovely lollipop shape. And imagine over the next several years, this head will just get bigger and bigger, and you'll see more and more of that beautiful red foliage.
Yeah, and all you've got to do is prune it occasionally. Just prune it to keep it in this beautiful shape up at the top here. I tend to do mine, and I forgot last year, but I tend to do mine in autumn. I know I was saying earlier, a lot of plants I leave and I'll do it early spring just because, it's good over winter. But actually, because the new growth comes through the red, it's good to do it in autumn, get it to that size so you're not cutting away any of that new growth.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is chop off all of that beautiful new growth.
Yeah, I've done it before and it's disappointing.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Oops.
So totally agree, do that in autumn. But pretty much all soil types, all positions, and I would maybe even go for a pair of these as well. So we have reduced the price, £15 is your saving. If you go for a pair, that would take you over £40 and you would get free delivery as well. 510183 for the Photinia Little Red Robin.
Oh, now this is a great thing to go with this, actually. Now, you could use underplanting to create that lovely tiered effect, but if you're not interested in doing the underplanting, you could go for your bark mulch and put that around the base of the plant, because I think that will just make it look neater. Plus, obviously, it'll stop any of those little weeds that start to grow in there from forming. The bark mulch, this is the sort of shape and texture that it has. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it will neaten up the tops of pots, it'll neaten up your borders, but it'll give winter protection to any plants that might need it as well. And that little duvet. I
think the mixture here, we call it the ornamental spruce bark mulch, it's a really, really attractive mix.
Oh, that's an earthy smell.
To look.
Oh, that is an earthy smell.
Oh, that's nice.
That's lovely, isn't it? That just released some happy hormones into my brain.
Now, I'm thinking of doing a whole area of my garden with this. So as we get older sometimes, you need to make your garden a bit more low maintenance. Maybe you're struggling to keep on top of the weeding in your beds and borders. Maybe you've just got areas that look tired and messy, and you're thinking, I need to make my garden easier. Covering beds and borders with mulch like this, it neatens everything up. It's a great weed suppressant. I think it often highlights the plants that are in there as well.
Yeah. And also, if you need to get into those borders, if you are out and doing your gardening and you've got sort of deep borders and you want to get in there and it's been wet and mushy, and then you're in your boots and you come out and you've got mud all stuck to the bottom, it's brilliant putting that in, because it means you can walk on it without getting mud everywhere.
Now, you may want to put weed matting underneath that. The choice is yours. And if you really want an area to be pretty much weed free, you can put matting and then put this on top of it. You don't necessarily have to.
No, if you go around and do your weeding first and put a good thick layer of mulch down, I mean, we can't guarantee you'll get no weeds, but it'll certainly reduce the amount that you get.
But it's a brilliant idea. And do you know what I do today? Because I know we've had quite a few of you order several bags, multi-order.
Yeah.
If you're a club member, you get your 10% off as well, so it's $13.49. But it is a half-price deal today on YouGarden TV. And actually, just to have that delivered free as well, it's a big 70-litre bag. That's going to weigh quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not even going to try. That's I mean, Stu brought this in, and he did look like he was struggling, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did. So they are, it's a heavy bag of ornamental spruce bark mulch, but it is only $14.99 with postage included today. And don't forget, all of you 45,000 club members, you'll get that for $13.49. Now, we're going to go back to the favourites, or the absolute favourites. Your free gift today, by the way, if you missed the beginning of the show, with every single order today, you are going to get, so as long as you use the offer code YGTV3724, you will get your garden news. And this is the UK's biggest selling garden magazine. All the top gardeners in the UK write for this, people like Nick Bailey, we've got Carol Klein, our head gardener writes for this magazine as well, Peter McDermott. By the way, if you're thinking, hang on, I've already got that issue, this was last week's, you will get the new one. They are arriving today. So they're arriving here today, they'll be sent out tomorrow. So
Yeah, it's a great
I had
magazine.
a good read, did you, last week?
Yeah, I had a good read through. It's lovely to sit down with a cup of tea and get some inspiration on, what to plant and where to plant it, and, just some hints and tips and advice. So even if you're just flicking through and looking at the pictures, it does give you some inspiration. I was noticing on the back they got something about dogwood there, the best for winter colour. So just hints, tips, inspiration. That's the important thing. Oh, we're going to do a clue from the crossword. Has to be a gardening one.
Where is it?
So it'll be at the back. You're going too far in.
Did I go too far in?
Yeah, I'm sure it's towards the back.
I thought it was at the front.
Hang on, I can hear Stu flicking through the pages now as well.
I thought it was at the front page.
Oh, did you? Oh.
Hang on. We've got 10 minutes.
This is good. Where is it? It was here.
Right, sorry about this at home. Oh, you're right, Bex Planet is at the back.
Page 40, I got it. Right, I'll find a gardening question. Right, evergreen Mediterranean tree cultivated for its oily fruit. 5 letters. Evergreen Mediterranean tree cultivated for its oily fruit. I know.
So I was thinking lemon, but that's not oily.
Fruit.
Oh, olive. Yeah.
I'm sure we're supposed to be putting it in the chat. Hang on.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
All right, let me find another one.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
I was miles away.
I know, there aren't many gardenings. Okay. Oh, no. Salad plant. Oh, I can't read that. One down, Stu. Salad plant, Eruca vesicaria, subspecies sativa. 6 letters.
Oh, that's quite a tough one, actually. I think I know the answer. You see, this is going to fill in hours of your day, isn't it? Oh, there's some really good garden questions in here.
Aromatic bark of a tropical Asian tree that tastes similar to cinnamon. 6 letters.
So anyway, if you got this magazine last week, did you do the crossword? How good were you? We want to know.
Did you get that answer already?
We are nearly out of time, so just really quickly,
Let's
lobelia. We're calling it, it's like one of the best deals we have had this year. It's the Lobelia Speciosa Queen Victoria. Not 1, not 2, but 3 perennials for £6.99. Plus your postage, but don't forget, if you get your order to over £40, you get free delivery. If you can't spend £40 with us today, we do cap the postage at £6.99. But to get the free delivery, you still need to put in the offer code YGTV 3724. Now, this has got to be one of the most spectacular perennials we have ever seen. And that's what the foliage looks like. That's what the flowers look like. You imagine those together, and it is the most magnificent plant that is stylish, dramatic, breathtaking. And it will come back year after year, but we do say hardly to about -5, so do bear that in mind. It may need something like the ornamental bark just to give it that extra bit of protection depending on where you live.
And at this price, you don't even need to think about this. Honestly, guys,
you don't.
At $6.99 or $6.29 in the club, just put this one in your basket. You absolutely won't regret this. It is so pretty. It's so captivating. The bright red flowers, the luscious dark foliage. It is a valuable one to have in your garden.
And although it may, the chances are it will arrive to you, it will have already flowered, it will have been maybe trimmed back. It's a brilliant time to plant this now. It will have all of the autumn, the winter, the springtime to really get established. And then next year, in summer, late summer, you are going to get the most magnificent displays. But grab that with both hands. It's been selling really, really well. And I'm not surprised at £6.99. Then we've got our miniature little red hot pokers.
Love the red hot
Popsicles.
pokers. Just so unusual. I mean, particularly that one at the bottom there. The graduation of colour is just incredible, isn't it? Late flowering as well. So it starts in the summertime, midsummer, sort of June time, but it just keeps going endlessly, not endlessly, but right the way through to September and October. So really valuable in your garden to extend that summer season of colour when a lot of other things are dying off and just fading away. This one is still doing brilliantly. Plus, it's drought tolerant, it's fully hardy. It works in so many different planting schemes as well. So city planting, yes, great. Coastal planting, perfect. Cottage garden, garden style. Absolutely fantastic. But if you've got a low maintenance gravel garden, you could put this in there as well.
And I love the colours, you know, it's our fruity collection, papaya, orange and mango, really vibrant, citrusy colours. But it's a size for me because big red hot pokers can look a little bit, especially the foliage, I had one in my last house, it got a little bit tatty. These are a lot more compact, a lot more neater, 561217. Now we've also got some brilliant garden ready plants. When we say garden ready to transform your garden into autumn and winter colour. So let's give you a reminder, starting off with the Pansy Cool Wave, which is an absolutely stunning variety of pansy. I'll give you the details if I can, because it's on a buy 10, get 10 absolutely free. So it flowers 10 months of the year. The only months we say it probably won't flower is July and August. The pansies are slightly smaller than a regular size, but bigger than a viola, but it is a prolific flower. 10 months of colour, wow. And it gently cascades, it gently meanders, great for pots, containers, hanging baskets. But for me, it's the best performing pansy that I know of. The breeding on this one is incredible, 400,967. Then we had, oh, this beauty.
I love Erigeron. It's one of my absolute favourites in the garden. Filling in gaps, suppressing weeds, but flowering for months and months on end. This pops into life in springtime, sort of early springtime, and it doesn't stop until, you know, the first frosts, essentially. So right the way through to September and October. You can fill gaps, you can fill borders, you could fill a pot. In fact, one of our blue pots, those ceramic look blue pots, with Erigeron, filling that pot would look so beautiful and really long flowering. If you've got a small garden, Shaun often talks about this, don't you? Small gardens, you need your plants to work hard because you can't afford to have things looking rubbish. Erigeron always looks good.
Flowers and flowers and flowers, and it's so low maintenance. That can survive pretty much anywhere that's well drained. It's absolutely going out of walls and out of steps and things. Then we brought you, remember, that is also an offer, the Polyanthus Spring Fever 20 garden ready plants have already been grown to go straight in the ground, basically. $12.99, saving $6.99 today, 410012. And they're going to flower, start flowering kind of late, probably at the end of this month, maybe into October, and then all the way through those winter months into spring.
Primula, the primlet is next, and these are those gorgeous double flowers that you've got on here, and the bright, bold, gorgeous colours are incredible. We want to light up your autumn and winter displays, and primulas are absolutely going to help you to do that. They are clump forming, so once you've got this collection, 20 garden ready plants in those ranges of colours, to be honest, you're always going to have them, because in sort of 2, maybe 3 years, these will have formed clumps where you can lift them, you can divide them and keep spreading them around your garden. $12.99 if you're not in the club, $11.69 if you are, 10% discount, remember, on everything if you are a club member. 410197 is your item number. Make sure you use the code YGTV3724 to get your savings.
Now, don't forget, September, October, brilliant months for planting your spring bulbs. It's worth that little bit of effort because the rewards are massive. There is nothing better than a spring garden full of bulbs. And we are doing a 3 for 2 offer, so you can mix and match any of the 7 that are available, and you're going to get one of them absolutely free. So really popular today has been the crocus bulbs. Flowers around about February time, but these are the large flowered ones, far bigger than your regular crocus. And for me, yeah, one of my absolute favourites. I love it when the crocus come through, because February is my probably least favourite month, but when the crocus start to flower, you know that spring is on its way.
Yeah, it's probably the earliest, you know. Obviously, you've got your snowdrops that have come up, but hot on the heels of that is the crocus, and that is what makes you really start looking forward to everything then, because you get the crocus coming up, then it'll be probably followed by some daffodils, and you just know that those warmer, brighter, more colourful days are coming. So it's well worth putting crocus in your garden for that feeling of hope and joy.
And they will really do well even in kind of really sheltered and fairly dark and shady spots under trees trees and things like that. They just appear out of nowhere, don't they? Then we've got our mixed daffodil collection. Absolutely gorgeous varieties in here.
Lovely, tall, beautiful flowers here. British favourite. Definitely one to put in your gardens because, you know, your value for money here is incredible because these will last you for such a long time. You know, these daffodils have been known to last for decades. They've been known to last for over 100 years because they naturalise so beautifully and spread themselves around. You know, those trumpets just are so iconic.
Spring would not be spring without daffodils.
Definitely not.
And I love it in March when it's Mother's Day and all the daffs are coming out. And that's something like, yes, we have made it through winter. We are on a roll. But gorgeous varieties. And the quality of our bulbs here at YouGarden is incredible. These are big, big size bulbs.
I mean, it's a big bag. That's 25 bulbs in there. Of course, if you're going for the 3 for 2 and you're going for 3 packs, you're going to get 3 of these big bags of bulbs ready for you to, that's quite weighty, ready for you to plant out. Super easy to plant as well. And once you've done it, you don't have to do it again.
And we've felt pretty much all those bulbs. They're firm. There's nothing squishy. If you ever buy a packet of bulbs and there's some squishy ones, they are not going to flower. They are just going to rot. So absolutely amazing value for money, but really high quality with that Daffodil Narcissus collection. Now we are, well, I'm really tempted with the Fritillaria today.
Totally, yeah. Not something I've grown before, but it just, you know, obviously I'm going to grow my tulips and I'm going to get some daffodil. I'm going to grow my firm favourites, the ones that I love, but I definitely, every year we want to try something new, don't we? And it's not difficult to grow bulbs, but it's something new for my garden, and there is something very unusual about these. Those nodding bell-shaped flowers, the lovely snakeskin pattern that you've got on there. The mixture of colour is beautiful as well. And these are, you know, hardy. They're going to come back for you year after year, and they're award-winning as well with the Award of Garden Merit from the Royal Horticultural Society.
They're actually quite fascinating, aren't they? So they're 60133. They're kind of on my wish list, but on my definite list, and on Bex's definite list.
It's the Caribbean lily.
Yeah. It's just how many bags do we buy?
I am not missing out. I'm going to place my order as soon as the show has finished. This year it's happening. I am not going to be in this same position in springtime next year where you're all sending your pictures in, showing us how beautiful they are, and I'm seizing with jealousy. That's not happening again.
And I'm thinking of going for the 3 for 2 and just getting 3 bags of these.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And then another 3 for 2 to mix some others in. Yeah, 2 lots.
So that's what we're planning on doing.
What are you planning on doing?
We don't always plant the same. Far from it, but we are totally in agreement today. 3 bags of those, and then a mixture of the other stuff. So we will be sharing our pictures of the Caribbean lily with you.
We're not going to be showing any of yours. We're going to show our pictures this time.
We're going to be doing that in probably April, May time next year. 630-045. But it is like the most amazing, unusual, exotic bulb that's very easy to grow in the UK. It grows to about 30 centimetres high, and I think it just looks brilliant by itself. There's nothing else.
Don't mix this up. Just put it in a pot by itself because that's going to be a standout one. That's your feature spring bulb, definitely. Oh, Stu's saying maybe something white's growing with it could be nice. You could be right there, Stu.
You see, what I'm going to do, I've got some white pots. I'm just going to grow it in white pots.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
I don't have any white pots.
Yeah, but you've got loads of other nice pots.
I'll have a think.
Right, and then finally, and again, there's more on the website. We've got mascara. Now, these are, we call them the mini grape hyacinths. Again, flying kind of like Maytime, but these are not the purple ones. These are the white, which are a little bit more unusual. And we know that these spread so quickly, don't they? Yeah,
they're really vigorous, naturalising bulbs, these. So they're just going to spread, create a beautiful carpet of colour. But other things that spread that vigorously, they can be quite frustrating because they take ages to disappear. I don't find that with my purple mascaras. They do come up, they spread, they look beautiful, and then they just go away.
Yeah.
And they tidy themselves up. I'm not waiting for ages for them to disappear. So I imagine that the album, the white ones, are exactly the same. If you've got the purples, just dot these in where you've got the purples, because that combination of the 2 colours will be mwah.
But I always think that white in your garden lifts all the other colours, doesn't it?
It does.
White's a beautiful colour to have in the garden. So they're definitely on the list today as well. You get 30 bulbs at just £9.99, £8.99 if you're a club member. And then another 2 that are in the office, all on our website. We've got the Dutch Iris collection, 100 bulbs. 100 irises. You imagine that in your garden. And I definitely plant these in clumps. They look great in groups together, and loads of wonderful colours. And a lot of those irises have got 2 or 3 colours in one flower. 600 212 for the Dutch Iris mixed collection. And there's one more in the 3 for 2 offer, which are the gladiolus.
I love these. These are just absolutely beautiful. The colour is outstanding. Nice bit of height that these are going to add as well, because these are going to get to about probably 60 odd centimetres in height. They're totally beautiful. Definitely consider adding these in.
Now we are out of time. Both of us are back on Sunday, 10 to 1.
Oh, is it both of us on Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got a TikTok live this afternoon from 2 till 4. So download TikTok, put in YouGarden, and I'm there this afternoon. We're both together on Sunday, aren't we?
That's it.
We've loved it. Thank you so much.
See you soon. Have a good afternoon.